Hello again, and welcome back to the Dev Plays The Crucible of Avarice, using the Animite Tales tabletop RPG system. Today, we are missing Anarche and we are missing Aldous. The last session, they finally beat their first team. So, just to give a little bit more context, currently the Crucible of Avarice is a worldwide tournament where everyone who was part of an original tournament known as the Omegan Championship Games, basically their equivalent of a fighting variant of the Olympic Games, they were all given these strange special telepathic tattoos that would allow them to be able to rack up points through beating people and winning against them and so on and so forth. However, after about 2 weeks, the entire tournament was cancelled, yet the bans never went away. After people left the stadium and also the island of which it was placed on, it was then revealed a month later that in fact the world had become the tournament grounds. People were allowed to go out and attack people with these red bands, and only until they were able to get enough points to change the colour of the band would they no longer have to worry about random citizens without them attacking them. Now, it has been a good 3 months since then, or at least nearly 3 months since the original Omegan Championship Games opened, and the Crucible of Avarice has been a thing for almost 2 months. Anarche, one of the members of the party, decided that he wanted to turn an island that he had been able to accost and turn it into a floating island which would also have a stadium that would allow people to fight from all across the world, meaning that they would not have to fight in the middle of cities and towns and villages and just basically cause a lot of catastrophic destruction to the other places in the world. Eventually people came here and they already started their first match, as even Stilton Maximilian, the original tournament creator, had even given the go-ahead and activated a specific set of rules for this tournament. Anyone who is specifically known as the Kings of the Hill are pretty much the champions at the time. Contestants are allowed to challenge them, and a certain amount of people must fight against them. Now, this particular rule is an entire team have to beat the King of the Hill team, and the King of the Hill team are allowed to choose how many of their members actually end up fighting against the other team. However, they cannot be less than the opposing team. The opposing team must use all of their fighters, regardless, and therefore the tournament, inside the tournament, was born. It was known as the Anarche Jotun Jail Tournament, but so far it's also known as the Jotun Jail Fighting Festival. The party has just finished off their first matches against the people known as the Four Guardians of the North, a band of people who are basically claimed to be some of the strongest fighters in the land of the sunken moon. They were defeated by none other than Aldous. And, well, actually, yeah, no, straight up, they were defeated by Aldous and Stan, as Anarche had been beaten, and Fletcher had made his match draw against one of the other Guardians. Now it is the next day after everything that has happened, and it's now time for the next match. The new tournament brackets have been set, and it's pretty much the Kings of the Hill must be the ones to choose their battles first. Now, Anarche and Aldous are currently just sort of like sitting there, and they say that they're going to sort of wait and see. And Anarche is sort of just saying, like, he picks the three of you, Fletcher, Felix, and Stan, and says, you guys must fight between yourself as to who's going in first. With that, it now comes to just outside of the Battle Arena Stadium.
So, anyone want to go first?
What does the opposing team look like?
What does the opposing team look like? Interesting question. Most of them are sort of dressed in different styles, except from like the main common theme is one of them is wearing sort of a very big blue cloak and robe sort of thing. It is basically it's basically like a very big cloak with sleeves in it, and he's also wearing a very large sort of Ronin straw hat. So you can't really see too much other than he has two swords either side of him. You then see one of the other one is also wearing a large black cloak, again with sleeves, and he's basically just sort of sitting down, whilst the other three are currently talking. There's one in sort of a grey top, dark sort of black trousers, sort of like a very large sort of like rope belt. He also seems to have a sword by his side. You then see another man. Basically, he's in sort of like dark black sort of navy-ish clothing, but he's actually got like what seems to be sort of like armor on, like sort of dark red armor over the top of them, and he's sort of got like very like dark, long sort of dark black hair. And then there's another one who seems to be a female, dressed in sort of like a very sort of like different style cloak to most of them, having like some strange sort of cloud designs around them, and wearing sort of like a mask on her face. But sort of like longish hair, sort of on her head. These guys are all their cloaks are relatively same design in the terms of the shape, but not in the terms of the outer design as to what they look like. You can't really gather too much. However, you have been told that this is the team known as the Team Ushima.
Cloak started a band. They're all in cloaks. Given that Felix was up on the stand with Pinky yesterday watching the fights, did he see these people fight?
Roll me history.
Okay, where's my history? I know it's bad. History. Okay, so it's just a flat roll.
For that,
a flat roll for something I watched yesterday. No, Felix was busy chomping down on popcorn.
If you did see these guys, you don't remember them. That is the best I can give you.
Okay. Well, I have no problem with going first, unless either of you would like to go.
I would mind going first, hopefully to make up for our last match.
Very well.
Are you sure about that? Like, maybe you should assess their fighting capabilities first. I think perhaps we haven't really seen you fight Felix, right?
It's true, I have not fought in this miniature tournament yet, no.
So why don't you give us a break?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you go toe-to-toe with an opponent, Felix. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
To be fair, one of the last people I fought was you, and it lasted like 6 seconds.
Wait, we fought?
You were possessed.
Oh, was that back in Eden?
Yes.
I didn't even know that happened.
Well,
yeah, probably when I went under. It's probably after the angel touched and activated their ability, and then I went unconscious.
Correct. Either way, if I'm going out there, might as well go out there now.
Give a good show for the audience now, Felix.
Felix will take the stand, but I'm gonna have him buff up before the fight.
Okay.
So just rolling will, I guess, since it's just defense. You know what form I'm taking.
No, are you taking Fatigue Force Felix?
Yeah, like the one that I can just quick action do.
Fair, yeah. That's fine.
So, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. So you bulk up with your extra glow in your eyes and you're ready.
Okay, and then he will step into the arena.
Pinky's then going, and now it seems as though Felix is the first one to join the battle, but who will be on the Ushima side? Who will be the one to join and fight against Felix Fatigue in this up-and-coming fight of warriors? As you notice, the guy in the blue cloak and the straw hat gets up and walks through, going sort of in the middle, waiting for you to also get to the middle, which I assume that you already were, so he just gets to you.
Yeah.
You're sort of standing about like 2 meters apart from each other, and he's not even looking up at you, even though you are definitely taller than him, because in this form you get bigger by about a couple of extra feet.
He's just looking at my pecs, you know, it's understandable.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, to be fair, Felix is wearing armor, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Fair. Yeah, so as this sort of is going down, Pinky's sort of setting the atmosphere of like these two titans of fighting. Tashimu Ushima, a warrior known as the Six-Blade Swordsman, versus Fletcher. That's every time!
Fletcher enters the arena. Fletcher gets cut in half.
versus Felix Fatigue, the man known as the... Still count every time. Every single time. Known as the antitoxin and the juggernaut of destruction. Here he is, Felix Fatigue versus Tashimu Ushima. As she then says, begin. I would like you to roll me move speed.
Okay, let's see what speed's possible. 18.
Okay. Every time, seriously, just. I can never get it.
I want a compilation of you messing that up.
You know what? If someone could find the time to do it, I would put it on the channel. Okay. I think it's that. Okay. All right, Felix, you get to go first.
Hey.
Let's see. What am I starting with? Scrolling down to my combos. So let's see. We'll probably start with just. I guess we could just start with a regular, since these things will all be refreshed after the battle, anyways.
Yeah.
Just start with a regular combo.
Okay.
So, D20 plus 16 to hit. 32. Gotta go to our DMs and quickly grab them.
Jeez. Okay.
Well, that's all focus, right? We gotta grab the right thing.
I mean, it doesn't matter who I threw at you. It was gonna be a thing that was just gonna be a very sad ending for anyone I throw at.
Yeah. So the first hit is 87.
Oh fucking hell. Okay. Jeez. 87.
Yep. Should I go ahead and Sonic Strike combo?
Yes, and whilst you're doing that, I'm also going to be rolling con.
Yep. 31. Okay.
And I shall roll
103.
Well, hang on a sec. I've still got to roll the reaction against your attack. I don't have any hope. I just want.
What was that? Oh, the 26 was the con. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's then plus 103.
Yep. So next attack is combo Pure Technique.
I also have to roll con for this. Hang on.
Yeah, 35.
Bloody hell.
That was con, right? That was the con.
Hang on, I just need to see. So, okay, so that's the first one. What's his con? Oh. Oh no. Okay, so the first con roll failed because that's above 1.5, and then the second one is another fail. So let me just roll these. So this
This poor guy knew exactly what he was getting into. He didn't even have the heart to look you in the eyes. He's like, this is...
Yeah, he didn't even look at me. Felix cleaning popcorn out of his teeth with like a toothpick.
Oh, hello. I didn't notice you there. Anyway, aura, dead. Yeah.
So
land,
damage time?
So yeah, damage time. Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is, as you throw your first punch, you immediately hit him in the sort of like the mid-center, as is like he's knocked off of his feet, but before he's even able to like fly back, you then hit him again in the face as it sort of like turns his body a bit, sort of almost ragdollizing him, and then you slam him again, and the burst of like pure pressure that comes from each of these attacks as you finally launch him off on that third and final slam, as he passes right through the barrier on the third hit. As he passes right through the barrier,
I could have done another hit. I just want to state I still had another action if I wanted.
We know, don't worry. As he didn't get any hits, but on the third and final one, you definitely kill him. But as you like launch him, because there's no consciousness left in his body, he doesn't slam against the barrier. So he just flies out of the barrier, and then he just comes back to life and sort of like grinds against the floor for a bit. As he then like his ass hits the seat of the stadium chairs that are on his team's side, and he's just right back to where he started. Like, what the hell? Like, and that was a complete clean wipe from Felix.
We should see about setting up some cushions.
Thinking then just goes, Felix is then entirely up to him as to whether or not he'll stay in or if he'll let one of his other players take a go.
I mean, I didn't. All I extended was my regular combo.
I say let him go again.
Felix will stay in.
We're getting comfy over here, so...
They're all just looking at him, just like, the actual hell that just happened here, my guy. Like,
so who's next?
They're all just looking at each other like, the actual fuck.
Do you have a pack of cards? Because this isn't going to take that long.
I want to point out, so that was 3 hits, and I still had an extra hit. So technically, if these were all like this, essentially the same kind of fight, I don't even need the regular combo. I could just do all 3 of like Sonic Strike.
Theoretically, yes. Yeah.
Theoretically,
it's
enough to take them out.
Absolutely.
Oh, you finished the last strike by putting it into the ground. It's like, who's next?
I just don't know why I wasn't expecting that, because just Bill over here hang on a sec, Stan just makes like some like a deck of like 52 playing cards just come out of him like as if he's printing off something from his arm. And it's like, anyway, right, here we go. Yep, they're all here. Shuffle.
Time to play Uno while Felix does his thing. This is why Felix didn't join the battle last time. He knew that you want to give them a chance.
Yeah.
Playing blackjack.
Yeah.
I have to be entirely honest. I was not expecting you to stay in.
Why wouldn't I? I've only extended like once per day thing.
That's fair. Okay.
He's only just gotten started.
Yeah.
It took like 5 seconds.
I'm realizing the error of
Fletcher lasted longer than this.
I'm realizing the error of my ways very quickly.
So, how's those points?
Oh yes, actually, yeah. Can you roll me a d4? 3. Oh, okay. Jeez. To get 75% to get 75% of it, is it times by 0.75 or is it times by 0.25?
I have no clue.
20. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Times by.
Oh, come on, you guys gotta hurry up. I have limited stockpile here.
Okay. No, this is, by the way, all of this is happening over the span of a minute. Don't worry about it. It's just because I'm currently struggling to keep up.
Should I put down the 1 point in stockpile then?
Hang on a sec. I need to just times this by 2. Okay,
So 49 stockpile.
So this is what you get for your points total. By the way, this is the amount of points that you get from that.
That's added on.
That's multiplied. So that's added on to what you've currently got. So okay. I've pre-multiplied that because it was 15 million points something, but that's now 30.
So that is the current total, right?
And that's the current total I'm giving you, so you have to add that to your current point total.
Okay, so I gotta pull out the calculator. Got it.
Yeah, whilst you're doing that, I need to basically, have a look at my crushed dreams here.
Should I roll intimidation or something?
No, absolutely not.
To be fair, I only have a +2.
Okay, so...
Turn the entire session into roleplay because the other team forfeit.
Okay, so...
Hey, Juice, just out of session, does Felix have a wish if he happens to get the max amount on the bat?
No. he just wants this tournament over.
That's
so the wish is the tournament to be over.
He gets now you can wish for anything. Why? I've already got my wish. Throws the miracle stone down a fucking well.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can solve this situation.
Okay, so let's put me to take this out. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I just don't. There you go. That's how much I have.
That is nice. Okay.
Time for the Felix Power Hour, where he goes on a power trip and defeats the entire enemy team.
I think I only have one possible thing that I can.
That's denial, so you can't really de-transform him.
Aw, Joe, you have hope.
I had. There's a very keen difference there. Had hope.
Yes, but you still say, I have one!
I don't know.
That should be 0 after saying that much.
There's technically stuff we've done that, I know Felix has stuff that I've just never used, and I keep forgetting about. So I'm gonna start looking for that.
You're styling on your opponents.
I do have Defensive Daddy, which I have never used.
Oh my god.
I don't think he'll need it.
I always forget about that. I always forget about that transformation. Okay, so
yeah, because that can be up while I'm transformed, right? Or because that's a strenuous form.
Yeah.
So,
however, I think doesn't it empty your stockpile at the end of it, or?
Let me. For 1d4 rounds, user gains 2 times the user's damage resistance. After the timer is up, the user can roll this ability. Can roll for this ability if successful. The user rolls the d4 again for how long it lasts. Downsides: upon this mode ending, the user cannot use this mode for a number of times hours, according to the man's character roll. And no.
Okay.
Just no.
Just more dreams crushed.
No. Okay.
Not that that would matter, Joe. Given that I have 3 other full
that is true. So the one that the one in the grey top now sort of walks in, just sword on the side. But as he does, you sort of notice like this strange sort of aura, this weird purple energy around his body, as then when he walks in, it sort of creates what seems to be a shape around him as he continues walking in. As it seems as though he's sort of done the same thing as what you've done, which is prepare himself in this particular fight. As he begins walking in, it's just like he's standing again, like about a few, like at best like 3 meters away from you. As she then just goes, begin. As sort of the energy begins to take a shape of like a huge sort of like creature, like a huge humanoid shape. As it does so, around him.
Best of luck to you.
Roll move speed.
15? They could beat that.
Don't give me hope.
Well, they could. See? Maybe.
Okay. Now I have to see.
They get the honor of going first. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Don't you patronize me? Okay.
Joe, you helped me build this character.
Yes, I did. I don't regret it, but I do regret not being as ready as I thought I would have been for you to suddenly like come in. So as you sort of see this thing like pulse with like this strange purple light, it begins to take shape, like it starts creating like a almost like a body around this person. As now it's sort of like it's almost like they're residing somewhere inside of this giant energy like person, as it's now like it has 2 arms, one with like what seems to be like a huge sort of sword in its hand, made out of what seems to be like a strange sort of blackish sort of flaming looking sword. The other one seems to have some kind of like large shield on its other arm.
Okay.
As the black sword in its hand, it then like goes to slash at you with it.
Right. You know, as you would. Let's see.
So again, the opponent is 3 meters away from you, but they're now encompassed in this giant energy construct.
Right, and it's energy, so energy damage, it will actually probably do some damage to me. I'm assuming.
I never said if it was actually or wasn't.
I am allowed to assume.
You are allowed to assume. I'm not allowed to tell you if your assumption is
I'm being
correct.
3 meters away. I'm not close enough to do like reactive strike, right?
No.
Yeah. So I will probably. Was the 31 to hit?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll do evasion.
Okay.
So that would be, is that plus 13?
That sounds about right.
So not quite as good as a lot of my stuff, but you know.
2 berries.
Oh, berries. Oh no. Oh no, it looks like I'm being whacked.
Smack attack.
Oh,
Woe is me.
horror. Oh, the horror.
Don't you patronize me.
Would you
Okay.
prefer
So
we petty you?
what's my like armor again, you know?
Well, technically when you rolled for this, you got a 19, so technically if I'm also wielding a willpower ability, it's 19. Which means that if I got a higher attack, it would then be based on just your normal defenses.
Okay. Which is like, what is it again? At max stockpile, what the fuck is my resistance? Like 50 at least? No, I think it's more by a bit. So how much do I take out of that?
So as you get hit by this huge sort of black flaming sword as it slashes through you,
Flaming, you
take all 51 points of damage.
Really?
Yes, as this burns a little differently than fire, and it does feel like as if there's something actually spiritual about this attack as well. But all of this power it combined into this attack just hurts on every single level.
Okay, let me pull out my calculator because I stink at math.
Don't worry, I have two calculators, one for your health, one for my other dude's health, and then every now and again I have to swap between points.
Why did it sign me out of my Google Doc? I need to be able to edit my sheet. So that puts me at 160. And then my vitality is 80, so you know.
Yeah, it doesn't break your vitality.
Yeah. Not bad.
As you realise that once it slashes you through, you're covered in this black fire, and it doesn't seem to be going away.
Okay, so I will probably be taking quote-unquote burn damage.
At some point, yes.
At some point. Let's see. I will go ahead and activate defensive baddie. It's roll performance 15. So I'm trying to remember what exactly I need to. Is it just a flat start?
It's SPMA, so it's
SP.
yeah, so you can
plus
10, yeah.
Yeah, no, that works. And then a D4 for the amount of rounds that'll last. It'll last 2 rounds.
Yeah, so as you sort of like realise, okay, this might actually hurt a little bit more, you begin sort of like bulking up as you begin sort of like your body begins sort of like tightening in certain areas as then like you sort of like gain a little extra bulk to your muscles as they seem to sort of harden and sort of almost go throughout your body sort of like as an extra layering. But yeah, so that's one action over.
Not many have actually managed to damage me. I like you. And I will start with Sonic Strike combo.
Okay.
34.
Oh damn. Oh damn. Go for it.
That's my band point total. Gotta go grab the thing again. Go a little copy and paste. 108.
Nice. I just have to have a look at something. Okay. So as you do so, you actually feel your hand slam against this giant construct, and you immediately just fucking shatter what seems to, like as you hit it, then you see like a large pair of ribs made out of energy shatter behind your hands, and you've broken what seems to be the only line of defense that this thing has. As you sort of see him looking very cocky at you for a second when your hand lands against it, and then he just sees like fear grips his heart when he notices the ribs immediately crack all the way around his body of this energy construct, and then immediately break open. You haven't been able to land the attack against him, but now this lines up for you to be able to hit him.
Right. So combo pure technique. 27. Not as good as 30, but
it's better than an 18. So continue your good work, sir.
101. What was that?
No.
How's he doing? Do I need to go in for another hit or?
Let's have a look.
Steamroll.
Might you actually be able to solo their entire team? That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. He did do 51 damage to me. I assume I don't. If I stay in the ring, I don't get healed, do I?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're definitely causing an injury there. That is... I think that's a D10. Yeah, no. It's more than that, actually. No, it is a D10. Okay, it is a D10. Okay.
That's one.
1 point of damage on top of that, but still, he's now got like broken like ribs. Ironically, you broke his energy construct ribs, only to then break his actual real ribs as he begins coughing up a large amount of blood, and you then circle back for, I'm assuming, your next attack.
Yep. This is just since I'm out of I don't have regular combo.
Okay.
So I think this will probably just be my final hit for this turn.
Okay.
Because I think that's all I'll need.
Yeah.
So again, 27 to. Let me just
Finish him.
Got rid of the plus 25, 79.
Ooh, okay. I don't actually think that kills. It doesn't, but it does break vitality yet again. And that does break vitality again, yet again. So that would be D10 from the original one. And then a D8. I have to roll a D8 to see how much damage it does. Another 1 point, so 5 in total. Plus your 79, so...
Mm-hmm.
And then plus the 5 points, okay. Jeez, he is looking worse for wear, covered in like blood and basically like looking really battered, barely able to move. As you notice, like the energy ribs sort of like cover around him again as it's now his turn.
Good up.
As I now need to roll for the
Fire damage or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Will the defensive daddy matter with that?
You notice that it still continues to burn your very body, and it hurts a lot, despite the fact that it is supposed to be fire, but these black flames are still consuming your very body, regardless of your defense.
Okay. The floor is yours.
Okay. Don't actually know if you can pull this off. I have a good feeling about you winning here. Yeah. So he basically seems to try something, but like it's up to you if you want to react against this.
Reactive strike.
Okay.
So gotta remember, is that it's just a plus 10 to hit, or if we took something?
You've got skill harmony, so it's now plus 16.
Yeah. 35.
He's dead.
Roll damage.
Yeah, it's a regular hit, so get rid of the plus 25. 85.
So, what happens is you break the ribs on his thing again and stop him from doing it, as it's now your turn. You don't actually hit him, but you do just shatter the ribs of this energy construct, as it's now your turn to go in for another one, if you do so choose.
Another 1, 2, 3, you might say.
Oh no.
I keep losing myself in my sheet. Where is my combos again? Sonic Strike combo time. 26.
Okay.
That's fairly beatable.
So I got a 29. So what happens here is he doesn't actually hit you, but what he actually does is he sort of like he puts his hand out, and then immediately what seems to happen is he pushes you back. So as you go to swing for him, you get pushed back, and your fist just barely misses as you just sort of get pushed back, as it feels like as if like he's just basically used gravity to just push you away from him.
Does that end my turn?
That does not. No, it just means that he basically did the equivalent of evading your attack.
Okay. So going in for combo pure technique then.
Okay.
30.
I mean, we don't need to roll the damage, but you can if you
But
want.
105.
As you hit him, and again, the exact same thing. The entire purple humanoid construct disappears, just vanishes as you get launched off the end of your fist right back into the stands through the barrier, perfectly healed. As everyone waits for the next battle, but you begin to continue burning, and the black flames are not going away.
Okay, how much damage?
28.
Ooh.
Is this how you're gonna try and get me out for black flames?
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. You're up to
You're gonna try and
107.
status affect me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is essentially, I have brought a level 100 Pokemon into like an Elite Four fight.
And you didn't pack any antidotes.
Yeah, I mean, packed sleeping pills.
Unlucky enough, the first Pokemon you fought managed to get a Will-O-Wisp on you, and it's just a ticking time.
Pretty much. What do you think, boys? One more fight?
Oh yeah, you got this. Don't worry about it.
I want to point out, he's saying this whilst he's on fire.
It looks fine to me.
His
like,
clothes...
Trying to pat out
clothes
the fire does nothing, right?
Yeah, as you pat it out, your hand then catches fire as well.
Okay. This is very interesting. Bring in the next person.
The next person joins as... I'm just having a look. Who the hell can I even throw at you now?
I will say it's probably been the 2 rounds where I will roll a d4, or like, what do I need to...
Yeah, you need to roll a... basically, you need to roll SPMA again, just to see if you get the exact roll requirement necessary for this ability. I think it's 20, isn't it?
It's plus 15, but
you fail. Okay.
Which is fine.
By the way, your stockpile is maxed now, because obviously every time that you take damage, your stockpile goes up.
Yeah.
So, unless if you use acceptance, you will keep your thing at max.
My current HP is 104.
That's about right.
Just making sure you know.
Yeah, because I've got here that you've taken so far 107 damage. Yep, so take that away from your max health. That's leaves you with 104. Yes.
I have my calculator open. Just every time I take burn damage, I'm like, okay, minus that now.
Fair. I think there is only actually one other one that I can throw at you. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. I'm going to use...
You can throw all of them at me, but...
Well, I'm kind of hoping that I don't have to, and I'm kind of hoping that you'll either go down or give up. Okay, so the next one goes in.
Or tag out for a bit.
No.
How goes your guys' card game? Can we get some card game rolls in here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This would just be like luck, wouldn't it?
I guess.
Isn't there a blackjack bot?
Yep, I can't be bothered right now.
That's fair.
Let's just roll a d20 and see who's higher.
I think it's rolled 100.
Do you want to...
That's good to me.
Okay. Yeah, you've done very well here.
Stan is clearly winning.
You're pretty good at this.
Well, they are.
He might be cheating. He did make the cards.
That's a cool trick. Can you make a chessboard as well?
Yes.
Hell yeah, let's do some chess as well.
I'd rather not.
Oh.
Are they just
Alright.
sitting in the stands with Pinky?
No, they're standing. They're sitting in like your team's booth on the other side,
Start
like
go up.
behind you.
We just go out and start playing cards with Pinky.
As you,
I feel like
you then just hear like a guy like as he walks in. This is the guy who's like in like the red armor. Again, you see it before he gets in. He like sort of walks in, and this aura completely encompasses his body. This time, this aura seems to be like deep blue. As he walks through it, and he goes, "I think that this will be an interesting fight. I didn't know that there was someone like this out there in the world. Your name was Fatigue, wasn't it?"
correct, and I'm sure it will be an interesting fight. Also, points when you get around to it.
What? Ooh.
F. Does that mean it short circuits in your brain?
No, I'm trying to create it.
Oh, okay.
Because the other one disappeared when I left.
Oh yes, yeah, of course, because you were struggling to make it, and you went in and still
and then I
struggled to make
finally
it.
made it, and then
It's like walked out, and then even your clone was like, "No." I need to have a look at the freaking points now. Thanks.
Yeah, I didn't want you to forget.
Well, fine. Let's have a look. What points?
Did
does
you
this
roll like a
go
D4
for?
last time? Do I need to roll another?
Yeah, roll another d4.
Okay, 2.
Okay,
So
that's
that's like 15.
That's a lot easier. So this is the amount of points that you get from this individual. So that's 12 million added onto your current total.
Yep. Okay. 12 with like 6 zeros. Let me scroll down to my points that I currently have. Give me a moment.
Whilst this is going on, Stan and Fletcher, what is your current dialogue at this time whilst you're seeing him doing this?
hey, you think we'll need to fight today?
No, honestly, I think we can take it easy the rest of the day.
Cool. I'm gonna go and get a sandwich.
Ooh. Nice. I'll keep an eye on the match and let you know if you need to be called in or if I'll go next.
Okay, so... Okay, so that's where I'm currently at.
Okay.
Racking up these points!
Racky upping these points.
Okay, roll me move speed.
Give me a sec, I'm putting my points in my sheet.
That's fine. I got a 17.
Got a 14, so he goes first.
Woo!
Or she, or they. They go first.
He. That's fine.
He.
So as he's walking in, he's like sort of commending you that he didn't know that someone of this level of power existed. And as he goes like, "You've even taken the Grand Black Flames, and yet you're still standing within this place."
I'll say they are quite interesting.
I'd say so. You sort of notice that, when he gets closer, you begin seeing something odd about his eyes, and it sort of almost reminds you of the previous one that you just knocked out. The two of them have the same looking eyes. Their eyes seem to be sort of a weird sort of black, but with then these glowing yellow sort of irises. They seem to have strange sort of piercing effects, almost like as if they're staring directly into your very soul. They don't look real. They don't look like real actual eyes. As a matter of fact, they look almost like crystals inside of their sockets.
So I'm fighting people with anime eyes. Got it.
As he then says, "I have to admit, when I first saw your fighting skills, I didn't know what to think of them. But now that I've seen them up in person, I understand more than just simply muscles. You're even quite a character yourself. I would have to say that you want to fight for something else rather than just for the sake of victory.
I'm simply fighting to finish what was started.
I know better than that it's not just something as simple as that. I know that you're doing it for something or someone else. So that would mean that you need this to end for someone else's sake.
Fair enough, but with the world in chaos, who wouldn't want this to end?
I don't know. This is a great time in our lives, especially for our clan. We've now figured out exactly what kind of people it was that destroyed our ancestors' burial ground.
Are these like the clan that used to... Is this Lord's clan or something?
You can roll me an ingenuity under intelligence, or you can roll me a wisdom.
Like flat wisdom?
It's up to you.
They'd both be the same, so...
Fair enough.
We'll just go with ingenuity, since it's the first thing that's mentioned. 14.
You think that's what he's getting at? It seems like as if he might be hinting at that.
Well, I wish you a good fight. The floor is yours.
Okay, so first thing, as you say, floor is yours. This entire dude just begins lifting up as the aura becomes bigger and bigger until it creates an entire 20-meter tall giant energy man around this dude, as he's now floating up 20 meters into the air, well, 10 meters into the air, inside of this thing. It has 4 arms, 2 faces. As he then goes, "As do you!" As a huge blade of pure energy immediately solidifies in its hand, as it then goes to attack you.
Okay. That's a pretty good roll, not gonna lie. I can't react, since he's like 10 meters up, it wouldn't make much sense to reactive strike, I imagine.
The best thing you could do is probably try to reactive strike the sword, at best.
I could try and punch through the sword.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's reactive strike 21, so yeah, no.
And you go, as you just get hit by this. Boop.
Yep.
Boop-a-doop, doop, 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 boop. Copy and paste.
Good old copy and paste. Okay, so that's
As you
full
take
28 damage?
full 28 damage, yep. And on top of that, you also take the black fire, as the black fire is also hitting you as well.
Okay.
As you also take 22 points of damage, so in sum total that is 50.
I'm at 54 now, so...
As it continuously ravages your body and it's still burning and still hurting, as it hit you with this blade, as it cuts, or at least it tries to cut into you, as it hits into you and your body does sort of feel the weight and the pressure behind this attack.
Okay, is it my turn?
It is indeed.
So he's 10 feet up, like, or not 10 feet, 10 meters up, so he's high. He's high up.
Yeah.
However, I jump good.
You do, in fact, jump good.
So, what I'm gonna do... I'll start with Sonic Strike combo.
Okay. I need you to roll me a labor first to jump up to him.
Okay, let me scroll back up from the combos. Let's see. Yeah, it's still just plus 16. 24.
Okay. As you jump up towards him, he will attempt nothing.
He will attempt.
He will attempt
He'll
nothing. As you jump up towards him, you hit the ribs yet again. shattering them.
That's the amount of damage.
Yep. You shatter the ribs clean open as you can now see him without any of the energy there in front of him. As that was your combo, so it allows you to go for another attack.
Yep. Now I'm going for pure technique combo. 26.
20, so you do get to hit him.
107.
Hot diggity damn.
And then, since I have another attack left, and I think this will be Felix's last fight for now, I will be using
Don't say that!
So,
Okay.
let me quickly check. Let me find Allfather's Wrath real quick. I gotta make sure there's no, different roll modifier or anything. Yeah, no, there's not. Okay. So... 27.
I'm just going to quickly roll con.
Yeah, you're all good.
Damn, nice. I mean, he's still going to take an injury. Okay.
So it's got to be a 27. It's totally beatable if it's plus 15. Okay.
Okay. That is enough for... So I do actually have something for this.
Okay.
Ah, I forgot actually. I mean, it's not much point in it, but I'll roll it again. I completely forgot all of his things are actually supposed to be with advantage.
Alright.
As I said, doubt it will be much help here, but yeah. Okay, so as you go to sort of hit him with this, he does the exact same thing where he just pushes you away, and now he's sort of landed back down onto the ground.
Okay. So does that count as me using Allfather's Wrath then?
Didn't you have to roll that and then roll to attack anyway? Oh wait, yeah, because it's
just an ultimate mastery.
Yeah.
So.
Technically, it counts as you activating it, but you didn't actually land your hand on something, so it'll still go for until the next turn of yours.
Okay. Well, since that wasn't a combo, I believe that is my turn.
Yeah. So when it comes to your turn again, and if you still haven't landed it, it's then that effect is over.
Yeah.
Okay. He then looks down at you and he goes, "I see. I see why you are so strong. You really don't like fighting, do you?"
I don't find much joy in it, but it is what it is.
You only fight to dominate and conquer, so you may feel safe. I see.
Yes, Felix is a top, yes.
Now, I guess I see exactly what I must do. So, nice.
20, so, yeah.
Too bad that wasn't an attack.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I've got this really cool ability. He then, what he does is, he claps both of his hands together, and as he does so, I need to now roll another ability. Awesome, okay. As he does so, his body begins to start healing from this damage.
Okay.
And on top of that, it seems as though plant life is growing out of his body, as then they just shoot off all around you. There's just 4 clumps of wood as they start pulsing, as they begin growing and sort of shaping into the same sort of shape he is, as they then perfectly look exactly like him, both hair, body, clothes, armor, everything.
So he's got some doubles.
He's now got 4 doubles, yep.
Okay.
And here's the crazy bit. That's not even the end of his turn.
Yeah.
As he
I
then,
will ask, do those count as extra enemies on the field?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
As he then says, now the only question is, do you also want these things to start using my powers, or do you just want good old classic hand-to-hand combat?
Do whatever you're comfortable with.
Very well. As now,
Welcome to chess boxing. We're doing the boxing, they're doing the chess.
okay, so the healing that I've got for this, what is it? Oh, okay, that's cool. So that is... Okay. That's interesting. It's the same, so the funny thing is that this healing rate is the same amount of damage as the damage that you're taking, so that's how much he healed, which is practically nothing in the grand scheme of the amount of damage that you dealt to this poor bastard.
Yeah.
But still. And then here's the damage from your Black Fire. That's actually the tamest it's ever dealt.
Yeah. Puts me 42.
That means that you're on 169 damage.
Nice.
Nice.
So was that his turn? He didn't go for any attacks on?
No. It seems as though he was using all of these different abilities and effects.
Wait, that's just irritation. Then that would mean...
actually, no. No, he still has one left. Because that other ability doesn't remove an action. Of course. As he goes to, like, take this grand energy blade with this thing as it goes to slam down and attack you with it.
Okay. Can I reactive strike?
You can indeed attempt.
Yeah. I get that, you know. You got a natural 20. It's... So...
That is very close.
It's close, but again, he got a natural 20.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So that's that.
He might actually take me down here.
I'm not entirely sure, but
I'm at 42 HP.
it could be possible. Oh yes, you are on 42 HP, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ooh. That is
So I'm at 4 HP.
That is a toughie. It doesn't break your vitality. You are at 4. It's always the 4s with you. It's 4 something. As you are on 207 damage. It is now your turn. As like this huge sword just hits into you as he sort of lifts it back up, sort of readying himself for whatever is to come next.
Not bad. Probably coughing out a tiny bit of blood. Let's see, what do I want to do? So there's 3 people on the battlefield, not including myself, so that's...
There's 5 people, there's 5 enemies.
Okay.
You're surrounded by 4 of them, and then the other dude's in his giant blue energy mech.
So, just trying to think. Should I just start with the 2 combos, then do outrage, and then?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we'll start with. Let's scroll up to my combos. We'll start with Sonic Strike. Just
Okay. Which are you trying to hit?
I have no fucking. Just any of them. I don't know which. Probably the one closest to me.
Okay, so not the main dude, but the clones.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it. This is gonna suck.
Oh no.
Because they're all very close proximity to you. Okay.
So this is where Felix loses. I see.
All of them do their hits. So that's.
Can they collectively do 4 damage?
Yes. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. I'll roll. I'll roll one attack, but actually, yeah, no. It's actually. What's your resistance?
I have fire resistance, poison, and physical.
Yeah,
all
fire.
of, like,
That's because
50.
because they're all going to use fire. So
Okay.
I have to now do this. So
They do nothing. Is that the defense of Daddy form still active?
Daddy is not up. No.
Damn.
that I don't know because that's 8. That's 8. Then so to 8 take away that. Well, should I say 58 take away that? So that's 11 and half that. Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. So a single one of those is enough to put you down. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
what all of them do is they clap their hands together, breathe in, and go, "Hoof!" And then suddenly a massive blaze of fire comes out of all 4 of their mouths as they all are encircling you as you get hit by this massive fireball. As you're like, I can, as you just then are covered in flames. And then you sort of finally go down to the ground as your armor is sort of like red hot, your skin is sort of like beginning to sort of seethe, but even more horribly, your clothes are pretty much burnt to almost like ash as you're like falling to the ground and then just eventually go down.
My butt's on live television.
No, thankfully not all of your clothes are gone, but
Okay.
as you do so, all of them then just suddenly like place a fist into their sort of flat palm, and they sort of all bow before then immediately the one that's actually the original that's inside of the blue energy mix sort of like eventually flies down as it disappears, and he walks out of the barrier. As he walks out of the barrier, all of the clones sort of like disappear into like the ground and become nothing. And eventually sort of like someone like sort of comes in to just sort of grab Felix and sort of like drag him back. However, as they sort of realise you're still on fire, and they are kind of scared of this, they do eventually grab you gingerly and sort of bring you in. As they take you out of the barrier, the black flames dissipate on both yourself and the individual who grabbed you. You are now awake and, fully fine. All of your burns, all of your injuries, even your clothes have returned to the way that they once were before that you entered the arena.
The 10. Well, I guess Felix didn't de-transform. I was like, if Felix did end up de-transform, it would have been re-transformed back up.
So in this particular case, you would be now like as you leave it, you go, "Ugh," and you're suddenly awakened, and you're in Felix Fatigue Force mode.
Well done. Felix will drop that mode because there's no reason to have it up. How much do I lose?
Roll me the d4 yet again.
Fletcher, during this moment, will if Stan has not returned from his sandwich, he will shoot a message saying, Felix has failed.
I mean, it's very obvious because the Pinky not only announces it, but also it is like viewed everywhere. So,
just in case.
So it's just half the points, right?
Yeah, half the points. So if you could show me half the amount of points that you got you've got left.
Divide that by 2. Okay. Copy that number and then go to the road. Go to where?
I will return with my sandal.
Dividing it by 2, that's obviously the 0.5 rounds up or down. I don't know which.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. So it's 31, 903, 913, 705, plus his amount. Because
So,
remember, they don't get double. Only you guys do.
Fletcher will approach Felix and pat him on the back. You fight well, friend. It was only through the many wounds you had accumulated did you actually go down.
Well, you can't win them all, and I still came out of this fight with more points than I started with.
A positive. Let's hope we can. Oh, go ahead.
Leans down as Fletcher is shorter. I don't have confirmation, but I think they are related to Lord.
Are you sure?
I can't be certain, but they seem to have inferred that.
Oh. Oh. This could be bad, but could also be an misunderstanding.
Either way, pats Fletcher on the back. Good luck in your fight against him.
Well, I'm itching for a fight. If they want one, I'll give them one.
So when changing my point total, I just is it 704 or is just get rid of the 0.5?
It's just get rid of the 0.5. Yeah.
Okay.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Better
Yeah.
watch.
I'm happy with coming out with points that I, entered with. It's still technically a win.
That's fair.
Killed 2 people.
I mean, it's a win for you. But I don't know if it's a win for the team yet.
It's not a win for the team yet, given that you both now have to fight this individual.
And the following ones.
And the following ones.
Well, he's now left, so now you have to fight 2 new ones. And by the way, you have to figure out who's going in next.
I think it's kind of obvious who's going next.
Okay, Fletcher. All right, Stan, you're going to be heading back to the arena
Stan?
whilst this is going on. But Fletcher, you'll actually be going into the arena now, whilst Stan is on his way.
Hang on.
Before I enter, would I also be able to pour into my mode?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, yeah.
Wait, there's 3. Hang on. There's only 3 of us, right?
Yeah.
But how many of them?
There's
There's
3 left now, but there was originally 5.
Good.
I thought they could only fight with, 3 of theirs if we only had 3.
No, so the way that it's going to work is technically Anarche and Aldous are still there. It's just that obviously we don't have them playing today, so.
So we're going to be rolling percentile to see who.
No. How pissed would they be if I did that?
Especially Saf. It would be like, how dare you misinterpret?
I would definitely win
my
against
character.
this. I would definitely win against this character. How dare you? Okay, so
If Felix can take down 2 of them, I don't see why I couldn't take down.
The entire team.
the entire team. I'll take down everyone. Oh, do you mean the guy here? Everyone!
Take them down with the word of Animite.
And then I will make him a follower.
Okay, so that roll, what does it do for you?
It is a success.
Okay. So, just so I know what abilities are actually incorporated into this, that's Spirit Control.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Predictive Will, I think?
Yes.
Anything else?
I think, Spirit Control and Predictor Will is pretty much it.
Okay.
I have not gotten a chance to add any other abilities to it yet.
Okay. Do you have Iron Will?
Let's see. No.
Okay. I just wondered. I don't know why. Who the hell has an ability mixed with? I know who it is. It's Felix.
Pretty sure I have Iron Will.
Yeah, it's just that I was thinking like, oh, okay, this ability has this thing. No. Okay. So the next one. So you walk in your transformation. You sort of like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess walk-in isn't the correct term. You go in and you sort of like your feet sort of like you skate them towards where you want to go because again you're phase swimming through this already. I'm assuming that you'd have to have the ability to be able to be intangible to light and sound so that you can both see where you're going in this situation and also hear for when thingy commands. So I'm going to have it that you at the very least can see and hear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there is another. Instinctive Will. Allow me to be able to see.
Well, it's not necessarily the same form as seeing, but like it would help you in most situations. But the ability to know where you are in an empty space where nothing and no one else is would be a bit odd. So you'll still have visibility for now. It's up to you if you want to turn it off later when the actual match begins, but that's up to you. But it'll have to take like.
Yeah, I just forgot I had Aura Sense.
That's fine. Okay, so we've got that. Okay. So the individual that walks in is the one wearing the mask and in the cloak. As she walks up, she then just sort of walks towards you, sort of going, "So you're my opponent, huh? Well, don't give me too much of a boring fight. Decent?
Yes. Well, I'll do my best."
And then Pinky then says, "Begin and roll move speed."
Okie doke. Get to roll with +9 because I have phase swimming increased.
Nice.
You go first. Oh wait, no. Your roll came first and then was mine.
Yeah.
Okay. I will straight off the bat pull out the staffs and go for phase cutter combo. It activates. Guaranteed.
Okay.
And I go for the strike.
Okay.
And the usual luck.
As you go towards her, like, just immediately sort of doing so, you notice that she immediately sort of, like, shrinks down as you, like, go to swipe at her. She dodges perfectly. She's immediately, like, de-escalates, like, straight through into the ground as you, like, go to swing for
her. Whoa. Where did you go?
She then reappears back up just behind you. You can sense her thanks to your ability, as she's now, as it seems as though she seemed to have slipped right through the ground. But there's something odd and off about what she's doing here. But still, that is the end of your turn. Well, I guess you missed.
Well, let's get the misses out of the way. Let's see what you got.
She then sort of like stands there just staring at you for a second, going into like a strange sort of position as she like puts her arms in very odd and awkward sort of looking gestures, only for you to suddenly feel like a very off feeling. You can see her, you can physically see her, but your willpower can't sense her.
Masking your sight. Your aura, I see.
immediately sort of darting towards you to go for an attack.
I will attempt to counter with phase counter.
Okay. Yep. So how are you countering?
I'm countering by just smashing my staffs into her.
Okay. You go for it, and your staffs pass right through her. She then just looks.
Ooh.
She then just
Do I do
looks
any
down at you. It doesn't even feel like as if you do any damage. You don't know. Her coat doesn't get ruffled. Nothing about her gets affected by anything that you just did just then.
This is only a very tricksy fight, I see. I'm glad for the challenge!
It's now your turn.
I'll give him like 2 rounds and I imagine he's going to die.
So much faith.
I know.
I've played.
Aww.
Felix has been with Fletcher for the entire campaign.
That's
and
fair.
the amount of times.
Well, she has enough willpower to hide her willpower, so... I guess I'll just keep trying an attack. I
Okay.
will attempt to... Phase crush into where I see she is.
Okay. Is that your attack roll?
Yep.
Nice. As you go right through her, nothing happens. She then sort of turns around, almost ghostly-like, as she doesn't actually rotate any of her body, but her entire form rotates around on the spot, just so that then she is looking and directed exactly at you. You then see sort of her hands clap together, but no sound comes from them. She then draws back as if she's like building up something. You then suddenly feel her presence again as you then see her just build up this crazy sort of flame that, even though that her mask is covering all of her face except from one singular eye, fire erupts from in front of the mask and begins turning and twisting towards you, but it doesn't look natural.
I will attempt to phase under the ground out of the way.
Roll for it. Spummer. You do
Down.
indeed, as you sort of just go down, as exactly that happens, as it's now your turn.
So it's not that I can sense her. It's just her aura is completely gone.
You can sense her again now.
Oh, okay. I guess I will. But upon popping out of the ground, I will immediately be attacking with another phase crush directly at this source.
Okay. Okay. So as you do so again, you go right through and immediately go to hit her, as she then just falls backwards again, phasing right through the ground and sort of doing her own phase swimming, and she's just barely dodges your own attack, as she then just melts underground yet again.
Our abilities are very similar, but there are very clear differences between them. This
You then-
honestly will be a very fantastic fight.
As it's now her turn, you suddenly lose the ability to sense her yet again. Until suddenly, just right from behind you, it's almost like as if she teleports into existence, comes yet again another grand amount of fire. This time, you're going to have to roll me a disadvantage as she is behind you. and again, you are not necessarily aware of her.
Okay. Disadvantage. I can use my abilities reactively, so I'm going to... Is it capable for if I can dodge, and then go into an attack? If I'm high enough roll?
No, not really. Not unless if you are literally just doing one of your like counter attacks that is literally like, because Phase Crusher you can technically do reactively as an attack because again you've got SPMA, but I don't. But at this range, not really.
I would just Phase Crush into the fire.
Yes, yeah.
I guess I'll just try and counter with Phase Counter again.
Okay, so you're just trying to dodge. Natural 1.
Yep. Is this willpower infused fire?
You'll see. As you get hit by this flurry of flames, your entire body just begins to burn all the way through, which is odd because you shouldn't be taking any kind of fire attack. As you get hit by this eruption of fire, as it's sort of just... It feels like as if it's synchronizing to you as you're hit with it. It's just she's now still standing there again, waiting for your next turn.
Can I still sense her?
You can see and sense her. She's right now right in front of you. But she is 10 meters away.
Alright. No, wait, that won't do anything.
Oh, shit.
Wait, no, it will.
What's your vitality again? It's 66, isn't it?
It's 66, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I accidentally erased it on my thing, and I was like, oh, bugger, what did I just get rid of?
I will attempt a spirit cannon using the stone dagger.
Okay.
$22.
Okay. No. No, 29. As you fire this shot off, again, sort of like this time sort of disappearing yet again underground. As... Let's see.
Oh, 2 berries.
2 berries. Okay. Ah, okay, yeah. You again cannot sense her. Again popping up behind you, appearing right point blank, yet again with the same attack. You again must roll disadvantage to react.
Mm-hmm. I guess I can attempt to do the same thing she did.
What does this look like, did you ask?
Yeah, what is happening?
So, what is happening, for your guys' perspective, is that this individual, this female who's like cloaked and masked, she seems to sort of like stand in certain weird positions, just sort of almost like taking the piss, sort of mocking Fletcher, and then as soon as Fletcher goes to attack, he just passes right through her without any resistance, and it seems as though she doesn't flinch at all from any of the attacks. Then suddenly she claps her hands together and sort of seems to breathe in very heavily, and then immediately a huge amount of fire just erupts from in front of her, like as if she's blowing it out. However, there's no holes in the mask except from one for the eye hole. But the craziest thing is that these flames twist and turn into like these weird amounts of like spiraling circles, and the second that they hit Fletcher, it seemed as though it hurt him. She keeps passing through the ground, coming back up, and before doing any of the fire breath stuff, claps both of her hands together before then performing the fire breath.
I like tech print out some thermal goggles.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
That is 23.
So no, so you're also getting hit by this attack.
Hey, Felix, isn't he supposed to be intangible or something?
That hasn't stopped me, so who's to say? That fire also managed to hit me, and I'm almost impervious to fire.
But it's
It is not regular fire.
Do you look at them with your glasses? Your thermal goggles.
Yeah.
You look at it and you notice that the fire itself, even though it's hitting him, its physical flame and heat is like made apparent, but it fluctuates. It's almost like as if it goes in and out of existence and reality, but it's still visually there.
Is it like actually as hot as you'd expect fire to be?
It is, yeah, but it doesn't seem like as if it would be like so intense that it could like burn through anything. And it's just a big fiery explosion that just comes from her, and it's sort of like a fiery tornado sort of attack that just comes from her sort of like pressing it out of herself. But the heat is definitively there. It's just it flickers in and out of being there, not being there, being there, not being there on thermal goggles. As it is now Fletcher's turn, if you have yet again been hit by the fire that still hurts you. I guess you could always give up.
If only that was an option for me.
I mean, it literally is, but okay.
Let's see. I would like to activate expanded sight to increase my range and abilities for seeing with spirit.
Okay. I mean, I don't know why you need it, considering you have 2 core improvements already, and it's equal to the entirety of this dome anyway.
That's true. I'm just trying to go over options that I have to see if there's anything.
Something that you have completely forgotten, which has bothered me, but I haven't said anything, is you have predictive will as a part of this. You could technically have been rolling advantage this whole time against her.
I forgot again.
Reactively, I will say, but still, that could have saved you for like most of these issues. So technically, her appearing behind you would have meant that you wouldn't have been allowed to roll with advantage, but you wouldn't be at a disadvantage. I completely forgot about that.
That's true. I mean, I forgot as well, and it's my ability. I guess I will attempt another phase cutter combo since I didn't even get to get it to go off.
Okay.
It works, and now for the attack.
I got a 30.
I got a 28 again.
That's for the actual attack, yeah.
Yep.
She just dodges you. As you go to hit her, she again her feet just immediately sink through into the solid ground beneath you. As she again sort of begins to disappear yet again under the ground.
Damn it!
She again completely disappears even from your willpower sight.
Mhm.
And then... Just checking the abilities here.
Heat signature, like totally.
Yes, yeah. As soon as you see her, like, sort of pass. To be fair, like, her heat signature already is a bit odd because, like, it's as if it doesn't exist anyway to you. But, like, what seems to happen is, like, as soon as, like, she sinks down, there's, like, no trace of her whatsoever. Again, they're spatial. They're both intangible right now, so technically you can't even really see Fletcher. Again, it's just very strange. As she pops up again behind you can again sense her. This will be again just normal, not disadvantage, because I completely forgot about predictive will.
Fair enough. I will just, as soon as upon sensing her reappearing, I just phase crush directly at her.
Oh damn!
Woo!
So again, remember you don't use your stars with this.
Yep. Let me just. And does this add anything since it's
No.
Okay.
Reactive natural 20s don't get anything like that. It's just the attack natural 20s that actually get you stuff like that.
Ba-bam!
Nice. Okay.
Not this time.
There we go. Yep, so you hit her for 34 points of damage. This time, for the first time, it actually seems to hit her, and it actually seems to hurt her as she sort of like stumbles back for a second, as you sort of just go right past her. And yeah, you actually felt connection there, even though both of you were intangible. You felt actual connection when you passed through her.
Okay, I seem to be getting a hold of your tricks. I just need to lock onto your position when you just appear in my range.
That's what you think. As a matter of fact, to be honest, if I really wanted it this way, I would have it that you wouldn't ever hit me. But there is a bit of a problem with this technique. I can't attack and be also untouchable at the same time. And it's not exactly like you'd understand. To be honest, if we were fighting in the real world and not in this tournament, I'd win in an instant.
I like your enthusiasm, if you think you would win.
Again, her body disappears from your willpower essence. But again, you see her body with your eyes.
I wait for her to approach.
She begins moving in a very strange fashion. And it seems as though her arms go into sort of like the zipper as she opens the front part of her cloak and reaches into something. She then pulls out 4 knives that are all seemingly just regular-ass knives. She then begins to throw them up in the air.
Is she gonna start juggling these?
You don't exactly see that as they all fly up and then they begin pointing downwards as they all begin falling around. As they all just like pass through the physical realm, as then she just sort of like looks really surprised, like she then looks very like there seems to be some kind of revealing and also realization as completely forgets what she's just done.
Was that an attack?
She looks at you and shrugs her shoulders.
Okay. You going to do something else?
as I would like you to roll me a wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
20K.
You don't fully buy what she's doing is completely by accident. As what happens here is suddenly the knives begin flying out of the ground, heading towards you. Jeez.
Wait, no. There's no way that was on purpose. They're just falling through the ground. You know your abilities just as well as I do. Uh-oh.
As four daggers fly towards you.
I guess I attempt to dodge.
You can roll advantage, because you saw right through her trick.
Ooh. Not that that will probably matter, but hey, at least it's an advantage. I attempt to phase around the daggers.
Okay.
18 both times. Nope.
As they go right through you, nothing happens. Because remember, you're intangible, and these daggers, even though they're physical, they don't have anything on them. As they just pass right through you, you sort of like just freaked out over nothing, as all of the daggers then hit the back of the barrier behind you, and they all fall to the ground. Nothing happens to them.
What? What? Those are just regular daggers!
Immediately, you just see her like clap her hands beside her masked face, and just sort of almost like panicked, like as if like she didn't realize what she's just done was a really dumb mistake. Absent-mindedness, as it's now your turn.
Okay then. I guess I'll do something as well. It's been a long time. Let's disappear from sight as well.
Go for it.
Interdimensional invisibility,
Nice.
and it just works.
Nice.
Thankfully. Let me show you a magic trick I can do. Now you see me, and I'm gone.
Roll the d4.
One turn. I at least get to reroll in the next turn.
Yay.
If it succeeds. And I attempt to just hit her from behind with Fizz Cutter.
Okay. I can already tell you, no matter what roll that you get, it again does nothing. As I said, you do not physically sense her. You can only see her. So as you pass right through her yet again, although she doesn't flinch, seemingly. However, now that it's now that it's her turn, what seems to be even creepier is she begins turning and looking directly at you.
I just smile, but no one can see that.
She then pulls out from her front, again into the front of her jacket, pulls out another 4 knives. This time she throws them at you.
I attempt to phase downwards.
Okay. What is it with these natural 20s?
What the hell? What the hell?
Yes, it is with advantage, yeah.
What is bullshit?
Again, as they go right through you yet again, doing absolutely nothing.
I'm not surprised.
However, the crazier part is the fact that she was able to throw them directly at you.
Can I roll a wisdom to see if that is her using a sensing ability or if it's willpower.
Roll for it.
25.
Insight or wisdom or...
Wisdom, just pure wisdom.
There's a possibility of willpower. I mean, so far she has shown the ability of using fire that can harm even you, and intangibility. There is a possibility that she is a willpower user. I mean, you do sense a strong will and essence from her spirit whenever she does appear. I mean, right now you don't sense anything from her using willpower, but something that is a little off is that, like, you see, like, a strange glowing that sort of, like, from her eye, from within the mask.
But of course, whenever I can't feel anything, I can't hit her at all.
So what's your next move?
Well, since it's technically my turn again, I guess I should roll the ability.
Fair.
It succeeds.
Nice.
One again.
When you got only one chance.
This is starting to get really boring for the the people in the stands. They're just like, okay, he's disappeared and she's just spinning around.
Neither of the two intangibility users are hitting each other where they hurt, because neither of them are hitting each other at all.
Okay, I guess I'll just I can't sense anything, so I will go to a random spot on the field.
Okay. Once you are in a random spot on the field, what do you do? Do you just want to end your turn?
I wait for her next move.
Okay. What happens this time is she takes out yet another weapon. Just one dagger, one knife, identical to the other ones. Zips her cloak back up. And then goes sort of like in a very strange looking stance, a little bit more serious than the last. And she begins like dashing straight towards you.
Anything?
As she does so, she then attempts to sort of slash at you.
So I can sense her now.
No, you cannot.
Okay,
What would you like to do?
I guess in an attempt to disarm her, I will start rapidly phasing one of the staffs in and out of different forms of tangibility and try and hit her.
Okay.
Her weapon. See if anything happens.
Roll reaction.
And this is advantage because protective will.
So, as you go to disarm her, nothing happens as your staff goes right through her, and her dagger goes right through your head, and nothing happens. And then suddenly, her hand like opens up, it falls down, and it then goes into her other hand, and then suddenly you feel her presence as she stabs into your stomach.
Ugh.
I need you to roll me a fortitude, please.
$17.
Ooh, okay. You will be taking damage instead of an ailment, so that's... Damn, that is actually really badass. Badass.
Bass.
as you take 8 points of damage, which, honestly, for you is really nothing.
It's a war of attrition.
But yeah, that dagger is stuck into you. It feels like as if it's spatial over spatial overlapping.
It's like, what's the audience even looking at in this fight?
They are currently now watching a woman basically attacking an invisible something or other, and that's it. They're just watching just a woman just attacking an invisible nothing, just dancing around, throwing knives back and forth, and just suddenly going towards it and doing whatever, but nothing seems to be of avail. To you guys, it's just like, they're either moving so fast we can't see it, or they just literally are just invisible and can't touch each other.
Alright. Trying for the ability. And it fails! 2 berries!
2 berries.
I am visible again.
You are indeed.
2 berries number 4, is that 2 berries number 3?
So you know what this looks like? She went to stab nothing, and then suddenly you appear on the end of the knife.
Well, that was fun.
Interesting that you thought that your invisibility would work. You're not the only one with willpower.
To be honest, I wasn't sure. You gotta try something every once in a while just to see what happens and what sticks.
It's a shame. In all honesty, your ability could be very useful to me. I wouldn't mind you showing it to me again sometime.
If you win the fight, maybe. As I go to smack with the staff, one butt end of the staff with phase cutter directly into her eye.
Okay.
The ability does not work! I attack her with a physical object.
As she sort of like just dodges your attack, pulls out the knife, and then slashes you into the side of your neck. Roll me fortitude yet again. Oh no. So that's what? That was
That was 47?
No.
Wait.
I actually have to roll my thing for this if I'm doing it like that. That's 25. Okay, so you have to... So 25. So 25, 20, 15, 10. So that's 4. So that's 6, 8, 10, 12. So you take D12 of bleed. Since it's therefore a D12, I believe that means that like you are just going to keep bleeding now. So it's a D12 every single turn, as you've just been cut in your like sort of like neck area. It hasn't hit your windpipe, but it is a gusher.
Oh, I see. You can't take me down with full-on force, so you're gonna whittle me down.
Says the one who's wielding only just a couple of sticks, and yet is able to do a grand total of nothing to me. You've hit me twice, but that was more just pity.
Fletcher just gives her a deadpan expression.
I have to admit, Mr. Invisible Killer, you're not as interesting as I thought you would be. But you've definitely come up with some unique tricks that I've not seen other tangibility users wield.
You do what you can to stand out against the crowd. Apparently us phasers are very common. Yet you are the only one I've come across so far.
Sadly, you and I are not cut from the same cloth, I'm afraid. My abilities are much more refined. After all, you hitting me is impossible whilst I'm using my special abilities, such as, well, the one that disables your sight of me.
And you have shown great interest in a power to make you completely invisible.
Absolutely. If I would have this ability, it would use my assassin skills better. You've noticed that her demeanor has changed from being silly, almost acting like a little girl, to suddenly almost acting overly refined and elitist, and actually incredibly, capable with her hand-eye coordination as she's sort of twirling her knife around, as she's having this dialogue with you. Nevertheless, I think that it's about time that you understood something, Fletcher. This world has many different people that use all sorts of powers, but our clan is not exactly the same as you. Our clan is power itself. She throws the knife up into the air, claps her hands together, leans back, and attempts to go for another fire attack.
I will just straight phase crush directly at her.
Okay.
$30.
Nice. Roll damage.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice. As you go right through her, yet again, sort of like she staggers back. It's good to feel the actual connection of hitting, knowing that it's actually working.
Still, I'm always able to be hit, no matter what the opponent has, as long as they have willpower. You still have to make yourself able to attack, leaving yourself open. Only a coward hides.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Mototame. Do you think, in a battle against someone between life and death, damage is all that matters?
No, it's all about strategy.
Then tell me, if I were to win against you, regardless of if you were to have died or been unconscious, would that necessarily dampen your spirits?
It's all in the form of battle. Battle itself can be life or death.
Then let me tell you this. I have a way of eliminating you from this competition, but sadly, due to the rules, I'm not allowed to. So instead, I am going to prove something to you once and for all. That there are other ways that I can get rid of you. It is now your turn.
She's still there?
She is, yeah, she is, indeed. She's not, unintangible to herself. But she...
I will attempt Phase Crusher.
Okay. Phase Crusher does not... another natural one. Roll me Fortitude, please.
Yeah.
So you try to dash towards her as she then sort of pulls her mask just slightly off of her face just to sort of reveal her right eye, as suddenly you feel a strange feeling on your arm as your arm begins to take some damage. The damage in which that you take is very minimal, I will say. But it does hurt as it contorts your arm a bit. As she does this, it cramps your arm and sort of staggers you for a second.
Come on! Do something better than give me a muscle cramp.
That was just a taster. If you really want to see this in action, let me show you truthfully. She tries to go for it again. What do you wish to do? I want to point out she is currently about 10 meters away from you.
I will go underground to attempt to dodge her line of sight.
Okay. No. 17. Okay, roll me Fortitude. Also forgot that I haven't been doing your bleed for the last 2 rounds, so that's that one for that one, and that one for
15.
the last one. 15, okay, I got a 28, so that's 28, 27, 26, 25, 20. 5 point, okay, 5 point difference. Okay. As she looks at you, you sort of like, you're trying to make yourself intangible as you suddenly feel your left arm suddenly contort and twist until eventually you feel it rip off and just disappear into nothing, along with your staff.
Okay, you weren't kidding with that.
So that's
Disappearing nonsense.
5 differences, so that would be 2d10s. So you're now going to take 2d10s along with your d12 every round, because you now have your left arm missing and it's bleeding like a mother effer. So 29 from just this thing alone, so that's... Damn, okay. You've taken 80 damage in total so far during this fight. She then places her mask back on at the end of her turn. Do you believe me now?
I believe you're not all smoke and mirrors, as you were saying.
Then perhaps you should understand. You need to quit while you're ahead.
I've lost my life so many times in combat. Why not add another one? I haven't said I was a smart man.
No, but any of us could tell that. After all, you've already died 6 times.
5.
Not after this match.
Honestly, I've lost count.
Thanks a lot, Felix. I just love that if you say that, just like there's just a camera droid floating over you when you say that. Look to camera. Honestly, I've lost count. I think you've witnessed about 3 out of his 5 deaths.
Yeah.
Technically, you caused one of them.
Yeah.
But it got him the revive, so you know what? Anyway, so it is your turn.
Okay, I will... Actually, what arm did she take? This is Phase Crusher, by the way.
Your left arm.
Okay, good. Because I put the weaker staff in the left arm because Fletcher is right armed.
Okay. Fair enough. Go for it.
I will attempt to smack. With one arm. It's a 2.
Good enough. You know what? Good enough. Roll
Good
down.
enough?
Yeah, good enough. Because what she was trying to do was be evasive. At this point, if you're getting hit with Phase Crusher, you're getting hit by the whole thing, unless if it's something that interrupts or something like that.
Alright. Paste and take off the weaker. Pop!
Nice. I think that only just barely. Yeah, it does break vitality.
Let me guess, she's got Super Con?
No. So that's the current damage she has, plus...
Hey, Fletcher,
60.
can you wrap this?
Oh, okay, Stan, I'll try. I'm actually enjoying myself here.
The champion wishes for his match to be over soon. Okay, so you got so 68. So that's about just a little bit above vitality. So it's at 10. Okay, so it's just d6. So that for that. Okay, so 1 turn. She takes 5 bleed.
Nice.
as she sort of like goes back, and you sort of see the cloak just open up as sort of she's been cut through it. She's holding her side. Well, that's interesting. As it is now your turn to take some bleed yourself. What was that? D12? And then the 2d10s. So, exactly 20. Putting up to exactly 100. As she looks at you and again sort of grabs the mask and attempts to use the same ability that crushed your arm. How would you like to react?
Just try a game of Phase Crusher.
Ooh, 20, nice. Yep, roll damage. Obviously, without the staffs and stuff. 29, nice. Damn. Okay. It's now your turn.
You can slowly peel back my body, bit by bit, part by part, but you won't kill the spirit that I have. I'll keep fighting till the bitter end, even if it does kill me again. Because what's the point in living if there's nothing you fight for?
And that, I guess, is the only thing that we do agree on.
And here I come again! With another Phase Crusher.
Uh, 30.
30. So 10. So go ahead.
I'd like you to roll me Fortitude again, please. As you feel a clutching at your chest, and you suddenly look down as it begins to break and crack, and you feel it all turn and twist, like as if there's a tiny black hole eating away at you, as it finally breaks apart open your chest, as it all gets swallowed up into this thing as a huge chunk of the front of your torso is missing. People can see, like, the damaged heart and lungs, like, as chunks of them have been removed and basically swallowed up out of reality. You are now in fatal moments. As you go to the ground, your body begins to go numb, as all of this pain is overshadowed by the fact that you have pretty much lost all of the functions in your body, as your heart and lungs have been damaged. The amount of blood loss alone from this is going to kill you.
Looks like I'm going to have to owe you that technique.
So that's the blood from this, the blood from her thing.
Win,
and then
damn it, win.
Blood from the previous wound, so that is... you're in fatal moments, and that is a sum total of 24 plus 5, 29 points of extra damage. As you are beginning to lose consciousness.
So... Am I allowed to roll my vice?
You can attempt to do so. And this, I guess it would be an advantage, considering your vice is for the sake of getting back up, so yeah. So it'd be willpower with advantage.
Yeah, sure. Why not? 18.
15, technically. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You basically, like, you're about to go under, and you're gonna have to use your overdrive for this, but, like, if you want, you can use your overdrive to basically get back up to try and keep going for a couple of extra rounds.
Win, Fletcher, win.
There's a small voice in the back of my head telling me to win, so I guess I should do that.
Roll for your lovely ability, which I think is it a D6 or is it more? Your overdrive.
It's 1d6.
Roll. Ah, yes.
1d6, 6.
So as you sort of are about to go down, the other arm with the staff stamps it into the ground, and you are holding yourself up as you sort of take back to your feet. You're not going down yet. You are still standing as you didn't go quite unconscious yet. So you're using reality's gift to sort of flux it in and out of tangibility. So you're still using your mastery mode to be in and out of tangibility at the moment. As you're still going on, blood covering your front portion and your left portion, as you are basically battered, and you are basically the equivalent of a walking corpse, but you are too angry to die. However, as a reminder, that was her reaction. So this next one is her actual attack. As you get back up, she says this. Wow, now that's awfully scary. You look very strange. Like as if almost a zombie even. Oh well. You've done well so far. I must commend you. Most phasers don't even have the balls to continue after they get hit once. But you do not fear death, nor do you fear even hurt or pain. So well done. I guess I'll finish you off now. Exactly how you wanted. A true warrior's death.
I don't know
What the hell? Ah!
I'd like to see you die. I'm not gonna hold back.
Sorry, my Alexa just went off.
Oh god, Chainsmoker Fletcher is back.
Chainsmoker Fletcher, as she winds up.
He is missing a lot.
She winds up for... Actually, that's fair. She winds up for another attack as she sort of claps her hands together and immediately goes in for another fire attack.
2 berries, eh?
2 berries. She's
thwarted by the 2 berries.
She's about 5 or 6 meters away from you at the moment, but that's still within phase crushing range.
Let me just quickly copy that damage now.
That's an awful lot of smack talk for someone who's in phase crushing range.
Who's in crushing range?
You're still just rolling your damage just to see how hard you hit.
Shush. Let me have my fun.
Is this server's version of like the dice bot thing that you were doing in
Look, yes, it is.
Yeah.
50.
Smack attack.
Smack attack. Wait, am I allowed to add smack attack?
Well, you know, I mean, like phase crusher.
That's enough. Let's keep that pretty head on your shoulders.
Nice. So as you like pass right through her, just have to add that to the damage. Okay, nice. As you pass right through her, just sort of goes back, and she just goes, staggers back as you've just gone right through her. Blood gushing out of your body. Roll me survival. Okay.
16. It's not going down yet.
As like blood continues pulsing out of you, like just like spurting and gushing, you sort of like look back, sort of like, okay, what next? As you barely sort of see any extra like movement or power or pressure as you suddenly feel her presence twice as much as you normally have. As you look back, her back hits the ground as she is unconscious.
Oh, you can't be giving up now! I haven't had fun yet! And I try and strike her while she's on the ground.
As you do so, you go to, try and attack her, and suddenly, there's just this sudden weird moment of...
Clarity?
It's more like a burst of strange flapping of wings as suddenly your entire body is covered in all of these blackness and flapping, and suddenly you then have a knife to your throat, and it actually touches your throat just for a second to make sure that you know that it's real. I think you've done enough now. It's already apparent who the winner is. Give up.
Oh, you're right. Are you my next opponent?
I don't think that you want that, trust me.
You can do it, Fletcher.
Felix is just eating popcorn.
I'm gonna roll patience. Is that okay?
So willpower for patience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is a choice up to you.
You're right. It's not my choice. I'll let you fight the other guy first. I need to be at my full strength to have fun. Take the floor, my friend. As Fletcher will stagger off to the benches.
Roll me another survival. You dawdle on, walking through, staggering, and then finally when you sort of go through the barrier, you feel yourself being able to breathe again, you feel yourself conscious again, and you feel an arm again as you sort of walk, sort of pass right through. You're now fully back to the way that you once were. However, there's one slight caveat. Your weaker staff is gone.
Oh, where am I? What? Why am I outside? Oh, did I lose?
And that's it! Fletcher Motatame has just now defeated Tori of the Ushima clan.
Wait, what? I won?
She's then dragged over out of the barrier, but people are going, yeah, just clapping and cheering and everything like that. Nobody would have expected that this individual who crossed weapons against one of the Guardians, who fell so fast in a draw, would come out on top in such an almost demonic presence. As there's screenshots of you, eyes rolled into the back of your head, covered in your own blood, just arm missing, rib cage opened up, blood gushing all over you, and yet they're still just cheering, woo!
Oh,
You just get a close up of Fletcher face and he's just bewildered. He's what? I don't remember doing that.
Get used to having your corpse photos on the internet.
I guess. But, what did I miss?
You winning
pretty
that
sure I
way.
Yeah. Aw. Oh well. I guess I can look at the video later.
But now this means that there are only 2 fighters that have yet to have fought. Or should I say, there are only 1 that has yet to have fought on the Ushima side. And yet there are still 3 on the side of the kings. This means that we'll be seeing the next lot now. Will they be able to take down the last remaining 2? Or is it going to be a complete wipe? Who knows?
Well, if I can at least weaken the next guy, I'm sure someone else will take care of him. Right, guys?
Looks over at Anake and all this T-posing.
Anake is arms crossed, going, "All according to my plan." As Aldous is currently just like reciting something to himself. He's like got like loads of pages as he's like writing down, jotting some stuff, and reciting something to himself. What was that? Yeah. And then continues going back to writing something on like a bunch of pages.
Do my real quick, do my boons affect the like if I remade them, would they affect the dice of the nano machines? Like fusion stuff.
Yes. I think so. Yes. I'm gonna say yes for now, so if we change it later, we change it later, but for now, yes. You would have to re-roll to... Yeah.
I'll put that before I go. Also, the stand over stand worked.
I did see that, yes. Yeah, you're all good with that. Yeah, go for it. So yeah, just roll for the nanomachines then, and then if you need to roll for one other thing, you're allowed to roll for one last thing before you go in there.
Exactly not.
Okay.
And... it's gonna be weird, but can I try and use myself biomass manipulation to, like, essentially give myself, like, hemophilia and increase my blood pressure? So that if I'm physically wounded, then blood will just spray all over on me.
What you're asking me is that you want to basically create an ability where it's basically an ailment, where you would...
Yes.
If you didn't take damage from bleeding out, this would be an ailment, but technically this is actually like the ultimate plan. Yeah, so roll biomass manipulation to add this ability to your current structure.
Cool.
Yep, that's more than enough. Yeah, so you just feel your body in like this really horrible state. You feel like a very strange, like your blood almost feels like really weird. But also even more so, you feel like your heartbeat is like pulsing up, but also your muscles are tensing. You feel in a state of almost anxiety, but you've put yourself into it.
Woo! Yeah.
As you walk through the barrier towards this last individual, cloaked in a black cloak, waiting for you. I assume you're my opponent.
Yep. At least the first one. I don't know if you'll be fighting anyone else.
Still, I am looking forward to this combat. The others care about winning for the sake of bringing back the ideal of the Ushima clan. And don't get me wrong, my family definitely deserve notice for their new techniques and skills. But at the end of the day, I know that you had nothing to do with it. So our fight here is more formality at this point.
Yeah, I don't really know what your problem is with anyone here, but I'm just kind of I've fallen into this situation. I'm not ready here to fight.
My fellow clansmen have an issue with your party. They desecrated our great-grandfather's last resting place.
That doesn't sound like something they do intentionally.
Nevertheless, it is still something that we cannot exactly easily forgive. Especially without all of the context.
So will you attempt to fight them outside of the ring?
No, we would not dishonor them in such a way. But if they were outside of this island, there's no guarantee that we wouldn't fight them then and there as well. But we are still adhering to the rules of this island. After our match, until that we are able to fight them again in this ring, we will not attack them outside of it.
Say, you like sandwiches?
I'm sorry. What? Begin!
Sandwiches.
Quick, throw
Are
them
they
off.
cucumber?
So roll me move speed. That is the best move speed I've got all day. And now I'm just waiting to
Is
see.
it?
I think it is, isn't it?
I think you've rolled higher.
Have I?
Yeah.
No,
I should know. 2 of the fights you went first, and I know that you rolled higher than me.
yeah, but I don't know if I got anything above an 18. I don't know if I got any.
Pretty sure you did.
I think he
Oh,
moved.
okay.
No.
Fair enough. So, first and foremost, again, around this individual, an orangey sort of aura begins to glow as it creates a gigantic sort of person made out of energy around this individual, with a giant spiraling-looking shield in its left hand, and in its right hand what seems to be a very large gourd, and that shoots out a huge blade made out of this strange orangish fire.
Oh, come on, man.
My people
Here
are
comes
here.
Stan!
My people are here to win. I apologize if that creates any ill feelings.
Just kind of rude.
I cannot just easily let you pass. As it goes in for an attack with its sword.
Is this guy got any? Does my Stan Devastan help me out?
I don't know, because I don't think you can activate it reactively, can you?
Yeah, do I? Hang on.
I'd say that you'd have to activate it. Even though
Okay.
it's a bonus action, I'd say that you'd have to activate it each separate turn.
Okay. In that case, I will. I guess I can try and blast him. I will attempt to blast him
Fair, fair.
Us?
with the rumble rod for now because I haven't had any setup to, in terms of in the net. It'll work.
As the blade comes down and hits you, this strange, horrible feeling washes over you as you take 35 points of damage. I also need you to roll me a willpower.
Oh yes, that thing, but I'm amazing it.
To be entirely fair, I had someone else planned to fight you, but someone then ended up going and soloing the entire verse.
Look, you know, you knew something like that was going to happen.
I did kind of say at some point, like, I was thinking, I'm pretty sure he's gonna do it. Okay, so as he hits you with it, you feel this horrible pain wash over you, and suddenly, just that sudden moment of like, you look up, and it's actually not like, as you wake up, you sort of like wake up in your sheets, in your bed, and it's the next morning. You get up, you go over to sort of, to your morning routine, and you begin sort of just like getting stuff ready as you sort of then have like a knock at your door.
Am I still in pain?
You're not in pain, no, not at all.
Do I still have my things on me?
You have Well, you didn't at first, because, you woke up and you were sort of, like, in whatever night clothes that you usually wear. You still have, like, your gear and equipment, like, that you had from beginning of your transformation. But you don't feel that strange anxiety anymore.
Okay. Am I in my residence on the island?
You are indeed.
I'm going to make a clone.
Okay. Roll for me. You make a clone.
Can you answer the door?
That seems really lazy of you, but okay. He just goes over to the door, opens it, and it's an arcade. What are you doing, guys? Come on. Next battle. We've got to see who's our third contesters.
Hey, I kind of have a lot of work to do today, and I think this guy should do the job.
Look, Stan, I like you, buddy, but there's a problem here. You know that we have to kind of do this whole thing. There's 5 of them, we have to have 5 of us, so you kind of have to come and help us. Plus, your clone's not going to be good enough. We've seen them die. Hey, no offense. Actually, some offense, to be fair. You're weak.
How do you know that he is the clone? I could be the clone trying to trick you into...
Anarka then tilts his eyebrows as like, dude, really? I can sense life force.
I mean, he's got the same life force as me, right?
Yeah, but way less. I'd say you're about maybe a third? No, less. A fifth. Probably less. Yeah, definitely less.
Okay, well, I kind of had to carry the last match, so this guy should at least be able to wear someone down. I have important business.
Well, look, yesterday you took a big fat L against that one dude from the Ushimar clan, but Felix cleared them all out, so it was all good anyway. But are you coming to join us? Ah, what am I saying? Of course you are. As he just goes over and grabs you and starts dragging you out.
Hey man, that doesn't sound like it.
I know, but look, we need you. We need your help. Okay? Besides, I heard that there's some nice sandwiches in for it, as we now come out. He's been hit by the blade, but he's not moving. He's just standing there, staring into the abyss, doing nothing.
Did he break him?
Anarka then goes, oh, no.
What's happened?
He's put him under an illusion. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I thought. I've never really met too many telepaths, but I did sense him earlier. To think that that weapon can actually put people into weird trances after a hit. That guy's going to be a pain. Well, except for against you, hey, Felix?
We'll see.
As he then raises up his sword and immediately goes in for another slash at Stan. That is not enough for the pure technique. As he gets hit by it, roll me willpower again, Stan. Oh no! Is he disappeared?
I have back.
Ah, okay. Yeah, roll willpower for me.
Okay.
As you are still entranced, as you come back to the dream, as he's dragging you along. Come on, we got this. We got this.
Do I feel pain?
You feel a strange sensation that at first you sort of have a weird chill around your body, almost as if spine tingling. Ugh. And then you sort of just don't really think much of it. As you go and get there, right in front of the tournament stadium, you start seeing all the cheerleaders. Stan, he's our man. If he can't do it, No Tech can. The 9 cheerleaders cheering your name, commending you of your tech prowess.
The faster I get this over with, the faster you're gonna let me get back to work, right?
Yes, I know the deal. You guys fight for us for the tournament, and we pretty much just let you do whatever else that you want throughout the rest of the day. I don't really mind too much, it's just that we need you. As this time, you to the outside world, you guys then see him then stare directly at Stan as Stan ignites in black fire. Roll me willpower, this time with advantage.
I don't think that will happen.
Oh, okay, so as that happens, you suddenly catch the blaze, and you just go, yeah, okay, Stan, he's as they're all melting, and you're like, what the hell, as it just suddenly goes into a bad acid trip, as suddenly your eyes awaken, as you then just feel a horrible burning sensation as your entire body is covered in black flames.
Turn it off! Can I actually turn it off? As in, turn off all of my pain receptors?
Roll... Yeah, roll biomass manipulation, I guess. Yes, and I'm going to say, thanks to it being a 25, you do it enough so that you don't actually have pain come back, but you can still send electronic signals to your body for you to actually move around. So, you were able to break out of my illusions.
Illusions. Funny thing about those is they don't work on machines.
What are you talking about?
You do know who I am, right?
You still have flesh and blood. I'm sure that I can still make it work.
Say, outside of your illusions, can you really attack me?
I mean, you say that whilst you're still on fire.
Yeah, but his fire isn't physically stopping me from moving.
That's true. Again, I also want to point out he is covered in that giant energy man sort of thing. But he does look at you and goes, there are many different ways that I can make you stop.
Very well. Is it my turn?
You still have one action left.
Okay. Is my bonus action as well, or is that?
Yeah. You can use it in between actions. Heal. Heal. Heal!
Help! Do I just roll dice?
Yeah, just roll healing dice, yeah.
I think it's the same thing 3 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, you heal yourself.
I need to. I'm gonna have to create something. Yeah, I guess I'll have to create a little drone to fly up in the air.
Okay.
I will gift the drone my rumble rod.
Okay.
I can create it and make it fly into the air.
Roll for it.
Okay. Oh, my friend.
You make
Go
a
into the sky.
little flying drone as it begins flying into the sky. And that is the end of your turn, as now it is this dude's turn. As he attempts to attack you yet again with this giant construct. As it swings its sword towards you.
Okay. Is it like a downward swing?
It's a sideways swing.
Okay. I'm gonna try and I can try and manipulate my body out of the way, I guess.
Sort of do like a weird self-body manipulation limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nice. As he swings for it, you dodge as you slink underneath, and it's now your turn.
My turn. Okay. So many options. So little time. Okay. In that case, I'm gonna try and make another drone.
Okay.
Who thinks? Go drones, go.
Drone successfully created?
Drone. Yeah, technically, yeah, it's only 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Connor, you're not drinking to these 2 berries, are you?
I am shouting something that is weak, at least.
Okay.
Look.
I was thinking of doing it
Beer.
myself. And I just went, no.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself.
Roll for the best,
I'm
we're up
gonna-
to 7.
Jeez.
I'm gonna activate the stand anyway for,
Okay.
Is the healing bonus action also available?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can have 2 quick actions per turn.
Okay. That's good.
You are now down to 5 damage. Oh yeah, and that's... Oh wait, no. I was about to say, and that's the end of the turn. No, it's not.
In that case,
Oh wait, no, because what was the first roll for? Oh wait, no, the first roll was dodging, the second roll was you actually doing something. Then obviously you activate your stand, overstand, and your healing, so what's your last action?
yeah, okay. I guess get the drones to fire on it.
Okay, so one of them actually has the sonic thing, and the other one doesn't.
Yeah, that would just be I guess like a pressure blast or something.
Okay. I guess roll for each separately, and then I'll react accordingly.
Okay. I'll roll the for once. I'll roll the better one first, even though that usually doesn't go well. Okay. And then I'll roll the one without any gear.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Yeah. Both of them roll their damage. So there's the one with the thunder on, and then there's the one without.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that is a really bad 5d10.
Yes, it is. Damn, that is not great.
The 2d10s is almost the
The
same.
2d10s is almost as good. Yeah. So you did 18, and then 16. So 32.
34.
Okay. Oh yeah, 34. As it does seem to hurt him, as these like sonic blasts hit him. As now, I've also forgotten this. It's been like 2 turns, and I completely forgot that it's been like 2 turns, and you're still on fire. So I'll roll that for this, for that one, and then again.
I may be taking damage, but I do not feel the pain.
That is also true. So that puts you up to 26, and then plus 18, 34, and then, yeah, 44. Okay. So you're back up to 44, and it's now his turn. So he puts his hand up and then sort of points forward as a clone comes from him. As then the clone runs towards you. So this is the clone's attack now. 13. I don't know, Bill. Can you beat a 13 as he goes to try and kick you?
Don't say it like that. That's interesting. Can I get lesser drone to blast it?
No, because you never stated how high away they were.
Okay, fair.
And again, technically, if you're basing it off of the distance of the rumble rods, it would be a 10th. So it'd be like 3 or 4 meters.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, in that case, actually, I can roll advantage, right?
Yes, because this is the turn that Devistan was activated. Yeah.
Okay. I might just try the same thing, like, kind of twist around out of the way of his kick.
Okay. Sort of wrapping around him, or just dodging?
Just dodging a bit, like, you know how the Godskin Apostle moves?
Oh, yeah, like the Godskin Apostle as it, like, darts around all over the place in its second phase. Yeah. Go for it. Yeah, as it, like, tries to kick you, sort of bend around and out of the way of the attack. But he then says, well done, however, it is still mine. As he then goes in for, this time, a downward slash, specifically dedicated towards you.
Okay. Pretty awkward. Yeah, screw. I'll try the same again.
Okay.
I didn't use advantage last time. Can I use advantage against this?
Yes, yeah.
I'm a twisty man.
Yeah, you dodge the attack as it's now your turn.
Okay, I need to come up with a better idea. Okay, bonus action, sand Evers down, bonus action, heal.
Okay.
Okay.
You are on 3 points of damage left.
Okay. More actions. Yeah. Do that. I could. Okay, I'll try and make another rumble rod.
Okay. First
Close.
action, rumble rod. Second action, what will it be?
I want to make into I want to transform my arm into essentially like a cannon around it.
Okay. Roll for it.
I'll just do that.
Awesome. And I believe that's the end of your turn. Okay, so the clone again goes to try and attack you. Again, this time just with another set of kicks.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep twisting around it, just to see. This is just kind of amusing. The clone. He shall remain.
You
Yep.
dodge, yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's 5 or above if you want to do anything.
Yeah, I guess I'll try and actually, yeah, I might as well blast it.
Yeah, fair enough. Roll damage. Nice. You just like hit it. It does actually kill it, but as that happens, it then explodes with a radius of 8 point something meters radius. 8.5 meters radius. Oh, because it's 17 meters diameter. Yeah. Damage is 2d12. As it explodes into 7 points of damage. Wow.
Ow, my face.
Well, it looks like as if those clones have an explosive surprise. As it's now his turn as he goes to do the attack again with the large blade. Whilst that's also going on, I shall also roll for the damage that the black flames are still doing to you.
Okay, I will try and I'll try and evade with my twisty functions.
Twisty functions.
It's a weird thing. Okay, 29.
29, only just. As it is now your turn yet again.
Okay, need to come up with a better idea.
This thing is just trying to slam and swash and hit you with this giant flaming sword, whilst you're also covered in black fire that's burning you, but you keep healing to try and counteract the effects. And whilst this is also happening, you've got drones flying around with little sonic guns attached to them. It looks very weird from the outside as well.
Yep.
Felix and Fletcher just watching this. It's so this guy has weird abilities, and then there's just tech everywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna use my 2 bonus actions like I normally do. Then bring the lesser drone closer to me.
Okay, how close?
Within 3 meters.
Okay.
I might as well make my own clone. Because screw this guy. No, there is no cloning going on.
Oh, well dear. And that's the end of your turn, isn't it? No.
doesn't-
No. But it does mean that you can't use any self-adverse manipulation for this turn. Or at least your turn.
That's fine. Being said, I might as well just try and blast him. Can I, if with I have me and the 2 drones. What's the limitation of the action economy?
That's actually a good question, because I was thinking about this, because it's not like they're clones, but I would say probably... I'd say it costs you an action to give them their actions. So it's not an action per drone, but it is an action to allow the drones to have actions. Because it's kind of like you all give them commands, and that's an action. So therefore, they can then have their own like actions and attacks and stuff.
Okay, so either I could attack or one of them could attack.
This turn, yes, yeah, but like next turn, you could say 2 bonus actions, not going to do anything, and I am going to do something. And then my last action is then doing anything. Or you could have it that you use your first action to let them attack, and then your last action is then your own attack or something.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, I'm just going to get the Greater Drone to fire on him.
Okay.
Go, Greater Drone.
Damn, bro. Yep. Hits him. Roll damage.
Okay.
I mean, this time the 5d10s have got to be more impressive. Exactly 30. That's not bad.
That's not bad. No.
As yeah, it does damage him. As now, I want you to roll me a willpower.
That's helpful.
Yep, okay. As you take... Just have to look at this. There we go. It's just trying to find the damage. Nice. 19 points of damage. And that is the end of his turn. As you take psychic damage.
Okay. Normal bonus actions.
Okay.
And then yeah, I'll try and make a coin.
Okay.
Go, Stan, clone. Okay. Hello, fellow Stan.
Okay,
My
so...
name is Stan User. Okay.
You're back to max health. You've got Stan over Stan. You've now got your clone, so you've got 1 action left.
Okay. In that case, can I? I'll use the clone's action first, I think.
Okay.
He's gonna transform into a flying vehicle.
Roll for it.
Yep.
Yep.
Basically fly overhead to... Because, I mean, I might as well... I can give my other action to him, right?
Yes. Although I'm gonna try something. Actually, no. Yeah. You can give him his action. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess try and make him fly overhead to, like, the top of the arena.
Okay.
And then essentially transform again
Into
just like essentially a giant Buron column to just fall directly on this man.
Okay.
Still doesn't transform.
Okay, so he begins falling. And as he transforms and he begins falling, this giant orange-like construct moves its left arm where its shield is and puts it overhead. As it lands against it, it then bounces back off and slams into the wall. As it then falls down to the ground near where you are, but not in a decent enough location for it to actually slam into you. But it's now on the floor near you.
Okay.
And that's the end of that. So that's his turn. Which he'll now create another clone.
To the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars. And the clone is also going to attempt something. Which is staring at you and then immediately making it so that you try and combust with fire again. You can attempt to dodge if you wish. Which is a very silly question. If you wish, if you want. Your choice. Also going to roll the current black flame that you've got already. Which is 19. Oh, I also forgot last turn as well. That's 15, okay. So yeah, you're trying to beat 20, 29.
Yeah, okay. I guess I will become Twizzler Man.
Oh no, not Twizzler Man!
Not Twizzler Man!
And because the thingy is really close to me, can lesser drone also react?
It can, yes.
Yeah. No, I'm not beating it.
Okay.
Oh, lesser drone. Nope.
Fair enough. As you get hit by it, and you take another 2d10s plus 10 of damage, as you are again engulfed in black flames. As it is now your turn.
Okay. Well, I'll do the standard stuff. And then all of the kind of flesh that is engulfed in black flames, I would like to essentially eject from my body.
Shed it, basically.
Yes. Shed
Okay.
my skin.
Shed this weak form and attain greater heights. Yeah, go for it.
Because it is annoying me.
Yeah, you shed it. and get out of that body as the sort of shell crumples into cindering ashes, as it's no longer being able to be maintained by flesh continuously like healing again and again and again.
Okay, and then I think you can de-transform as a free action, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He de-transforms, and then what's the limit of tech shifters generic stuff? So like, say I want to make like a, I don't know, like a flash grenade or something.
So technically, I don't know. Does it state the amount of abilities that it requires, or something like that, or anything like that? Because I'd say at that point, that's more like you actually have to know the recipe for a tech grenade before you could actually do so.
Yeah. But if okay. I'm gonna essentially try and create. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try and create like an enormous light, from my body, my size is like 6. Make like just a giant 6-meter spotlight to blind this person.
Okay. Roll tech. Well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Damn, okay, yeah, natural 20, you sort of do it. I'll roll, I guess, wisdom, I guess it would be. Literally just typed in wisdom.
Wistful.
Yep. As you sort of like do it, it just dazes them. As they have to put their eyes and their hands in front of their eyes. I believe that's the end of your turn.
Wait. That's all my actions, but he hasn't used his action.
Yes, you are right, yes.
Okay. That flesh, is that still on fire?
It has pretty much burnt up, and the black fire no longer remains on it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, in that case, can he command the drone to fire?
Yes.
I suppose he can, yeah. I guess he will command the greater drone to fire. Is there an angle that can hit both of them?
Not really, no. So you have to choose giant energy mech or clone dude.
I guess the energy mech, because...
Okay. Yeah, works. Roll damage. Man, honestly, and you thought your fight was a war of attrition, Fletcher.
Yep. Well, mine was chip damage.
Meanwhile, mine's the opposite of a war of attrition.
Yeah, it was just, well, technically it was a war of attrition, but instead of one singular battle, it was more just how many fights you could go through.
The answer was free.
Yes, and did quite well at that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so... First thing is the clone. The clone basically attempts to do the same thing, just basically using the fire, but like covering his eyes and looking over at the clone, and using the fire sight on him. So I guess roll some kind of reaction against that.
Can the clone clone is right. Yeah. Can the clone just try and move behind the spotlight to basically divert this person's gaze directly into it?
They're a little too separated for that, but you could roll it so that you could make him roll evasion or something so that he could dart behind it, so then if he succeeds, he then won't be able to do the same ability again against him, because again, he'd have to avert his eyes or do something against a giant spotlight.
Yeah, I might as well roll evasion.
Okay.
I don't think he'll die in one shot anyway.
Fair. Roll. Hey, nice, an evasion. Yeah, you dart behind it, and he just sets a chunk of the floor on fire. As it sort of explodes with like a big black flame. As it's now the other one's turn. As he tries to slam his sword down on the two of you.
Okay.
I think what's funny about this, right, is I thought, damn, this sword is really going to just be OP, and then I just think, as soon as I used the black flame, it was all over, because now you're never going to get hit by the sword. You're going to try everything to not get touched by it ever again, which is fair enough. Like,
I'm gonna have it that I'm gonna try my Twizzly Man thing, because why not? But then, just in case, I'm gonna have it that. I think, yeah, I can do that reactively. I'm gonna have it that he tries to. My clone will just try and, like, reactively print out kind of essentially just a big metal wall, like just like an object, like a shield or something.
okay.
Yeah, I'll just roll my like evasion, and then he can roll his metal sheet.
Okay, so you definitely dodge out of the way, or yeah, the main you dodges out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's see if the other one does.
Metal sheet?
So he puts the metal sheet up, and it immediately just goes right through it and hits him.
As if it's not tangible.
As if it's not tangible, indeed. It deals this much. Now, I don't know if it will kill him outright, but it should definitely...
Nope.
No. I guess roll his willpower, I guess?
Go, Clay. Sure.
That is just enough, I believe. Yep, it's enough, yeah.
The clone has more willpower than me, clearly. Okay.
You don't want to die.
Now that you're no longer on, like, your spotlight is no longer on the clone is no longer under spotlight, but it is now your turn.
Okay, now I have the D4 on me, which can create link portals
Right.
within like a. Okay, yeah, within 50 meters I can create link portals.
Okay. Just, I'm assuming this is not what you're doing, but just to let you know, pocket dimensions are prohibited.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm gonna do my bonus actions first.
Okay.
Stand-ups. Am I fully healed now?
Yeah, you keep fully healing. Like, every time that I deal damage to you, you just keep fully healing.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna try to... I get into the... I can try and open up... Can I try and open up a portal behind him? Like, within this energy mech thing.
Sure.
Okay. Don't think it really will. I think it's just like a 10.
So it's just you have to roll tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Opens up a portal behind him.
Yeah, I guess in that case I'll try and get Clone Stan to dash in recklessly to distract him. And then I will jump in afterwards.
I mean, it's less the fact that it's distraction. I mean, he can definitely tell that a portal is open behind
I
him.
know, but you know what I mean. Cover.
So he goes in first. What's he gonna do?
I guess just try and yeah, jump in and attempt to wrap around him, I guess.
Okay, roll for it.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I will attempt to spray blood.
Okay.
Because neither of these things constitutes attacks yet, do they?
No, technically not. Although it doesn't really matter considering you've already done an action anyway, so technically this would be your last action.
Yes, it would.
Yep. You cover him in blood before he can do anything. Blood. This is now his turn. So the clone runs in through the portal behind you.
Yeah, basically.
And his clone then tries to attack you from behind. So even with the stand over stand, you won't be able to do this with advantage, but it won't be at disadvantage because of the stand over stand.
Yeah. If he's coming at me from that angle, and I moved out of the way, is there any chance that he'd end up landing basically on or near the main guy?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Again, this is a master of martial arts. It's not exactly like, just go and kick you. Oh no! It's not...
I didn't know if he was like running and jumping and doing like a flying kick.
No, he's not doing a flying kick, no.
Because that would have been badass. But yeah, in that case, I will just twizzle it out of the way.
Okay, go for it. You do indeed, and you can also get a reactive attack.
Yeah, I'll just try and blast them.
With your cannon hand.
See if I can blast them out of the, just far away. Well, can I blast them, back through the portal?
Yeah, so in other words, you're trying this more as a concussive wave rather than actual damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just blast them. Actually, yeah, okay. What do I roll? Do I just roll,
No, I think that's it. That's it. You just blast him back out through the portal, and he's now on the other side of the portal, which is in front of the giant mech. And I believe that's the clone done. He still has an action. I would like both of your characters to roll me wisdom or willpower.
Okay. Is there any other way to react?
No.
Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, I'll just roll wisdom for both of us.
Okay.
Should I roll? Oh.
Okay. So you both take 48 of damage, which I think that actually finishes off your clone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That puts you at 18. And you're now put back into the illusion. So now what he does is, whilst you're in this illusion, Fletcher and Felix, you're watching this. He sort of turns around and dissipates the entire sort of construct, walks backwards a bit and reactivates it. He then takes the blade and immediately just slams it into Stan.
Oh no, Stan!
That's rude as hell.
That's rude as hell, boy. That's rude as hell. Roll me another willpower. No, you're still stuck in it. He then goes again. With the same sword. Again, roll me willpower. Nope. This time, I'd like you to roll me willpower, but I'd like you to roll me 2 times. Okay. Okay, so you do snap out. But as you do, you are surrounded by 4 of his clones. As you do so, you are allowed to react to this next thing, as he then attempts to attack with the sword yet again.
Ooh, low roll.
Okay. Yeah, okay. In that case, I can only twizzle a man right now while I think up a plan.
You do slink away out of the way of all of the clones as he then slams this thing down as it does detonate. What's your movement speed?
My movement speed is 32.
Okay. You do get out of the way of the explosion radius as it just does like explode and just annihilate that small areas. There's a huge crater. But you don't get hit by it.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, probably should have said that. Yes, it is indeed your turn.
Okay. Right. Bonus actions standard. Okay. Plan. I shall attempt to use my new usage style
Ooh, okay.
in order to transform the blood that he is soaked in.
Okay.
But I need 2 15s. Yeah, screw it. We'll try the same thing as last time. The old coffin tactic. The old Bjorn coffin. 32 and so
Yeah.
basically it works.
So it just covers him entirely in this thing. Yeah.
Bjorn coffin.
He's now inside of a Buron coffin. You still have an action left, and he just tried to reactively roll against you. So
His clone's just standing there, looking at me.
no, his all 4 of his clones exploded when he hit them.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking that happened, but I was just making sure.
Yeah, no. As soon as you dodge, because the plan was stack a load of clones around you, hit you again with a sword, blow all of the clones up, and finish you off in one big move, which he would have been able to do had you not have gotten out.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, how much health am I on? How much damage am I?
54 damage.
Okay, I might as well just try and heal again. For now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice. Okay. You're now down to 20 damage.
Thinking plan.
I guess, can you roll me your shape-shifting dice?
Shape-shifting dice. You mean like the which ones?
For the wait, what did you get for the making of the coffin? What was it? 32?
32, yeah.
Okay. So this thing does actually try and, like, the big energy mech grabs the coffin and tries to start breaking it. To no avail at the moment. After this, however, you're now going to have to roll against me in a contestant roll.
Okay.
As he's now going to use up his second action to do the exact same.
6.
I mean, I could just try to damage it, but I was kind of like, I don't want to roll damage. Yeah, he can't break it. So now I have to roll... actually, no, I don't have to roll endurance just yet, but I will have to very soon. So it's now your turn.
Very well. Yeah, there's ways. I have my drones. Yeah, okay, I'll just use my standard bonus actions for this.
Okay. Back to max health. Now what?
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
In that case, I can attack as myself and with the greater drone, right?
Yes, although just as a reminder, he is in a metal coffin, so there's a good chance that it won't damage him, it'll just damage the
I'm not
coffin.
attacking him.
Okay.
I'm attacking the construct.
Okay.
Because it seems to be a solid object.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll do it as me and then the drone.
Okay.
Ooh.
I shall attempt to roll in reaction to this. Which I guess is disadvantage with the stand ever stand thing.
Yeah, the first one would be,
20. No, 15. So yeah, you definitely do that. And then on the other one, it's just flat, isn't it?
yeah.
Yep, both hit.
Just roll the first 5d10. That doesn't double anything, does it?
So what's that? Is that Sonic again?
Yeah, it's all Sonic.
Oh, I should probably have told you this. Yeah, Sonic doesn't affect it. Why do you think he's been taking the damage? Because otherwise, if it was if it was airtight, then you wouldn't be able to hear him. He wouldn't be able to hear you.
It does make sense.
Yeah. So all it does is just damage the coffin that's inside of it. Because I was thinking, oh damn, that's actually a really good plan. And that's hang on a second. So 24, and then I guess roll for the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's. I think that would be well, since that's powers. That's then multiplied by like what 14, 15. Well, actually no, it's just 10, isn't it? Sorry, so it's multiplied by 10.
Yeah.
So that's. Well, it's either 10 or 20, but either way, yeah. So 240, and then the other one is technically just 35, I guess. Oh, actually, no. Then again, yeah. Either way, yeah. You break the Buron coffin, and he takes. I'm just having a look now. He takes 5. No, not 5. Sorry, he takes 25 damage.
Okay.
The Buron coffin is now broken. He's now out of the coffin. $25.
Fletcher is comparing the time between Aldous' first fight and this fight.
Yeah, it is a doozy. But now that he is free, he basically locks at you. Like he basically locks eyes at you. Roll me again, willpower or wisdom.
Can I just? He keeps staring at me. When he looks at me, can I react?
I mean, next time, yes, but you figured it out a little slow on this one.
Well, I do have super perception. Like, I would surely have enough time to react.
I'm gonna say no, but you have figured it out pretty quickly, yes, but I'd say you figured it out as this action is happening. So why? What would you do? What would you try and do to?
Well, I'd probably just reactively blast him so that he doesn't get enough concentration to finish whatever.
Okay, yeah, no. In that case, yeah, it would definitely just be still wisdom, because again, it's like you've locked eyes at that point. It's like, oh, I've realised what, and now the effect would then take case. So again, it's willpower or wisdom.
Wisdom.
That is just enough. No, actually, no. Wait. Yep, that's just enough. Yeah. So you take damage, but you don't get put in the illusion. Not that 11 points of damage really actually is all that much of a bother. As it is now your turn.
Okay. All things considered, he is not being protected from any damage.
He's not being protected against sonic damage.
Yeah, well, that's all that matters. The entire arena, right?
Right.
If the size of the entire arena, how big is the whole thing?
20 by 30. So, like, as in, like, it's 20 meters diameter and then it's 30 meters up, like the barrier.
Okay. In that case, if I... he wouldn't be able to... if I made essentially a speaker that just repeatedly activated the rumble rod, then with its range it would just cover the entire arena, right? Because the range is 40 meters.
Yes, although the only problem is if you want to try and do it like full on AoE, you'll also get caught up in it. But I'm assuming that's what you're hoping for. Yeah, did you hear me?
Oh. Now we wait.
He gone disappeared.
This fight's going on longer than Alligators.
It is a long one, this one, actually, weirdly enough, yeah.
Yeah, this one's been going on for... My fight took like 2 minutes.
Your first one, yeah. Your second one took a little longer, but yeah. And then your third one was actually probably the longest, but even still, like, you went 3 rounds for the span of
10 minutes max, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went.
Okay. I don't know where I left off.
Yeah. So if you want to do the AOE speaker thing, you can, but you will potentially get caught up in the sonic damage.
Yeah, that's fine as long as it's repeatedly doing it.
All right.
That doesn't really matter to me.
You'll have to obviously make the speaker, and then, yep.
Yeah, that's fine. Maketh speaker.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just put the de-transform my... Yeah, I guess I'll just de-transform my arm and put the rumble rod in it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I guess I will attempt to make it activate regardless of whatever is happening. Just
Okay, roll me tech.
make damage. Like tech or tech because it's my
So since this is an object that you're like making and you're putting separately, you have to roll tech.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Since this is actually a speaker made from your tech transformation thing, it still does have the bonus miracle damage thing.
Yeah, okay. So now we are both dying.
Roll damage.
Cannot be stopped.
Fletcher is just glad that the dome is soundproof.
Relatively, yes. Okay. So it's just going off the entire arena as you take 21 points of damage. He takes 21 points of damage. Just hold.
Tell me, do you heal?
Do you even heal, bro? He tries swinging for you with his large sword yet again.
Yeah, I guess I will Twizzler Man. It's not like he's gonna, you know. Okay. Go, Twizzler Man.
You dodge. It's now your turn again.
Okay. My bonus actions, I might as well use those. Stand, Stand, and heal.
Awesome. That's actually just a couple of points over, so yep, you're back to full health.
Nice.
Your speakers are going on, so obviously you'll take some damage this turn, and so will he, so roll that.
Yeah, cool.
Not bad, not bad.
I might actually, in that case, so yeah, just gonna...
Come on, lad, just finish him off!
What can I do to finish him off?
Technically, you can still make a rumble rod and then also fire it off because you still actually haven't done an action yet.
Actually, yeah, I might as well do that. Yeah, screw it. Let's do that. Let's do the classic. We've rumbled him, lads. Rumble him.
Time to get rumbled.
Time to rumble and roll.
It's a terrible roll.
Nice. Yeah, well, I failed
But
my
it's
roll.
better than... Yeah.
That's a terrible roll, but it's better than yours!
Yeah, it is.
So this would still just be... yeah, this would just be the 3d10s, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We'll just keep wearing him down.
It's crazy. He goes in for his move this time. Natural 1. That was his attack. It's now your turn. The sound is getting to him, clearly. Roll for your damage on the speakers.
Cool.
Yo, Stan, drop it hard. As he's been hitting with that hard baseline beat, he's been taking some serious dams, especially with this new one. As he finally clutches his head, goes to his knees, the energy construct disappears, and he just hits the floor. I can't believe it! Stan has done it again! The tech god, the genius wizard with machinery, has done it yet again! Beating them! They only have one left! One contender to fight against the kings, and we shall find out next time. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful night. This has been the Dev Plays the Crucible of Avarice campaign, using the Animite Tales tabletop RPG. Thanks very much. Ciao, ciao, for now.
Bye, guys.
Homies.